We'll be getting straight into Mirage, and this is a must-win for Team Z, considering Train's coming up near immediately afterwards. They'll be starting over on the T side of things as the early peaks come through, and they've actually split their presence to start things off.
Yeah, it looks like the play, with the bomb at least, was going to go towards B, but Team Z have held off for just a second. Of course, T side for them first, and since they really want to pick the first map, this was a CT side choice pick for Phoenix. Decorgaze taking a bit of damage early on.
Timple's just going to make her way straight out, but Kahibi rips the head off, and what a shot to open things up.
That was beautiful on the USPS.
It's going to be the B rush now. Aurel with the big HE. That's going to do some damage, not quite as much as it deserves as the push comes through. Shots missing all around, but Aurel still towards shot. One tap to start things off.
Oh boy, Aurel managing to combo up with Mish and getting a huge amount of damage. Aleli's been in that, and Phoenix make it look easy.
And that was far too simple. The utility really not there for the T side. Team Z just really not unlocking that B bomb site whatsoever. Nothing they could really do to get in.
All right. Oh my goodness, that's going to be a interesting first round. And the bye comes through. The UMPs are there. The FAMAS is there. Phoenix should be feeling some confidence. And of course, Team Z back on the pistols. There will be, it looks like, a couple of pickups coming through there for Shiloh. Xiaowu staying on the standard.
ZOWIE picking up a P250. A couple more as well. Lillian and Timple backing that up and looking to get the damage in. But you can see the SMGs, the rifles, the M4A4 for Kahibi. And there's a lot of potential there just to unleash hell in this round and really make it simple pickings. The P250s, of course, going to be looking to get as much as they possibly can. As Zlypw just jump peeking into mid. Spots out Jenny. Not quite able to hit the shot. And Timple swings wide on the peak. There could be a trade hit, but the FAMAS is so good for Alela. Double kill and some damage onto the third player as well. Lovely stuff. And this is very quickly just devolving.
Yeah, that first buy situation always gives an edge at the very least, but we'll have to see if there's some power for Team Z to come back. Lillian does manage to get that pickup onto Alel, and that's pretty huge. But Shiloh does get taken down by Aurel, and Kahibi grabbing Lillian. This is looking pretty good for Team Phoenix as they wipe them all off and only lose Alel.
And Decorgaze using that MP9 to good effect, building herself up a little bit of cash on that CT side. A little bit extra money is always important, as we will see somewhat of a bonus round coming across for the CT side here.
This has become pretty standard fare, of course, in this tournament. It will get a AK buyout fully for Team Z.
Yeah, 5 AKs across the board. That is nothing to be sniffed at, and the one tap to the head is very... I mean, it's very good if you can hit it, and it just presents that extra opportunity on the T side, something the CTs don't necessarily get unless they're able to pick up the AKs, and it's going to be that fast play towards mid again. Alel only with the MP9 this time, diving in towards underpass, but she's been spotted out.
Oh, Alel going to try to guard a little bit through there, but nobody's making the move on it. The mid control definitely seems to be what Team Z want as they hide up behind boxes. You got to be careful, though. Kahibi training sights in that area.
And it is the mid control. This is fairly standard stuff from Team Z to start things off. They are taking that mid presence. Jenny and Lillian making their way down the ramp. That's a nice nade. Doesn't quite catch the player. Looking for the chair pick as this aggression towards B is caught out. Lillian gets an early pick and a spray. Oh, so
That's
close.
two.
Shiloh down to solo HP. Decorgaze does manage to trade one out, make it a little bit more viable. 3 versus 4. Aurel from short doing so much work.
On that first buy, Team Z definitely starting to flex some muscles. Is it enough for them to pick it up, though? You can see Shiloh already down to 4 HP. And Lillian is tagged up as well. It's a lot more of a healthy story on the Phoenix side. And it looks like the play is going to go towards B.
A long rotate towards this B-bomb site on Aurel. Such a star player for this Team Phoenix roster. Going to be holding from short. Has the rotation in as well. You can see Mitch making her position in towards. She's actually made her way out of the door and starting to make her way on towards the site. Sort of playing towards the back of back bench, which is a perfect spot to shut down this push as it starts to come in.
He's trying to hold that line. Does manage to get a tag onto Lillian. Taken down to 8. This is going to be huge. Elimination coming through here. And that's such a hard push through when the CTs have sights on you. Lillian's going to get taken down. So is Timple. Shiloh, that's it. Phoenix take a third.
And that is such a well-played round. Team Z actually had the advantage in terms of firepower at one point, but Phoenix just locking it down on Mirage, holding those executes to perfection, holding their spots and hitting their shots as well, which is a great sign as this game gets going.
That's a nice rhyme coming out of you there, Wolfie. We'll see if Phoenix can keep the momentum up right now, and the buys will come back in again, and it's unfortunately for Team Z a half-buy situation. 1CZ on there on Lillian, and you know the story of the rest.
Yeah, Deagle onto Timple. She does have armor to back that off, and there is a little bit of armor available across that T side, so potential to pick up a rifle as it looks like they're going fast towards the A bomb site.
Yeah, I'm going to try to rush this one. B certainly hasn't been working out for them right now, and when you are in a situation where you have to half-buy like this, utilizing that limited utility, trying to push in there fast, that's the play. The bomb's going to hang back for just a second as the execution will look to come in here for Team Z. The CTs are wise to it right now, though, and Lillian and Shiloh going to buy it pretty quickly from Kahibi, managing to get third onto Xiaowu, and Alel takes down Timple. They lost Decorguez, but it didn't mean a darn thing, and LL will finish the job.
LL clearly feeling it, jumping down with the AK-47, smiling as she sprays down the last player. And I mean, four players kept alive. Just the one frag onto Decorguez is always good. The tag was there, but Kahibi just staying alive long enough, as we will see first buy coming in. AKs across the board once again, as they're going to try and make something happen here, Team Z. But a good start on Mirage for Phoenix.
Certainly is, 4-0. And I think it's definitely right to call this the favored team. Phoenix, of course, already beat Team Z, but as you mentioned, grudge match. This is Team Z trying to answer back for that 2-0 at the start of the tournament.
And, I mean, grudge matches, they're always something special. Decorguez is going to take the AWP in towards middle and get the early shot. Can't quite connect with the player. That
Fast
smoke
strafe.
a little bit too late for the T side, but they get away with it this time, as learning from mistakes always important. That smoke comes down in towards connector, again a bit shallow.
And Tipple's going to duck back behind boxes right now and look for a good spot to throw the nade here. Stopped the push for Team Z for just a minute, but they have split across between mid and looking at the B site. They're hanging back pretty heavily, though.
Kahibi playing a nice aggressive position towards connector. Opts for the swing, gets the first. The flash is
That's
good, gets
Lillian
the
and
second.
Shiloh.
Looking for more. Timple able to find the refrag, though, and on half HP, she's staying alive. She hears this reload. She wants to swing, but not quite got the timing. Finally will find her second. So now a 3v3. Tags to work with onto a couple of these Team Z players, but they've got mid control, and they're looking to make their way in towards the A-bomb site. AWP of Decorguez so tight on this angle, desperate to make her way back out through the murder hole.
Team Z waiting for just a moment. Try to get that move out on. Xiaowu is going to be the one taking the advanced position. You see the sights coming up from Malel around the side. If they sniff for this one, the nade doesn't come in time. Xiaowu's taken out. 2v3 now.
Jenny's got to get this bomb down fast as well, and the spam through from Malel not quite going to connect. So 3v2. Timple in a really good position here, and she'll cut out one of those rotations very easily. And now Alel really has to be the instigator. The AWP not going to be able to do too much here, but Alel hits a huge shot. 2 versus 1, 1v1. The AWP knows where the last player is, but
big tag.
Down to 30 HP, the Glock.
The bomb is planted. This is the big thing right now, and they need to make those plays. And look at how lit Decorguez is.
Nade'll do it.
That's going to be a Team Z finally take a round. Jenny on the board.
Jenny coming up big time when her team need it most. A double kill in that round. Her first 2 kills of the game as well, so really showing up when it matters most for her team. Manages to save the AWP as well, and that should allow a really strong full buy across that T side. Get themselves 5 rifles, as it's only going to be the M4s for Phoenix. Allow not able to drop an AWP across onto Decorguez, who, of course, we saw taking it into middle early on, missing that initial shot. And Jenny's got an awesome peak for an A-ramp peak. An awesome spawn for an A-ramp peak is the words I was looking for.
That's okay. You found him in the end there, Wolfie, and it looks like we will be getting underway with Jenny having that AWP. We'll see how this changes the strategy here for Team Z coming in. That jump nearly was deadly.
Kahibi just about dodging the bullets, but it's a fast mid-aggression. And Mish, she thinks she hasn't spotted it, but Shiloh eliminated so
here.
much work done. The trade is there, but that initial frag could have been avoided so easily. Timple trying to go around the edge of the smoke, and Decorguez shuts that one down all too easily.
Lillian gonna sniff around here. Back into mid. Bomb not picked up. Sitting back there over by Jenny. The op spot, she'll finally grab it. But the execution, they're not entirely sure where to go on Team Z right now. They still got some time to work with on the board. Lillian looking to come upstairs here as she checks back into connector.
Kahibi's got to be very, very careful, and she knows it swings
wide
on
on turn
connector.
away!
The timing is so unfortunate, and now 4 versus 2. That is really awful. Shiloh trying to get something done, and will actually take the frag down to 39. There's tags to work with for everybody on this Team Z side, and 3v2, Jenny desperately trying to get something started with the AWP.
Execution's onto A here, and it looks like the play is around these boxes right now, and Xiaowu is going to get taken out. So is Jenny. Mish gets the finishing blow, and Phoenix back to a round win.
Making things look all too simple on the CT side. Phoenix, they lost one, but almost immediately fighting back, and you're going to see the economy for Team Z really not there. They're going to be back down onto those pistols once again. And the full buy very much in session for Phoenix. Looks like LL is going to be opting to take the AWP as the pause comes in, and this one's got to be from Team Z, right? Trying to work out how they can break open a defense that's been resolute from Phoenix so far.
Certainly has. The match pause comes through, and we will take a look at the players discussing amongst themselves about how to get back into this game on the side of Team Z. Can already be feeling the flashbacks from day number 1 here.
Yeah, that's the most unfortunate thing. If they start going down by serious numbers, they are really going to be thinking, was this a mistake? We're playing a team that we lost to on day 1 of the tournament, and they really need to change their fortunes. They need to get their confidence up. They need to start hitting some shots and start taking some rounds away from Phoenix, who are looking good so far on the CT side of Mirage, really putting out their best Counter-Strike and locking down the site so efficiently.
Yeah, it's worth reminding everybody, this was the map pick for Team Z. take a look at how Phoenix can actually execute on this one. Or I might be wrong about that, excuse me.
And a medium-sized buy coming out across the board. Team Z able to get 3 AKs out, but it's a Galil and a CC-75. Shiloh and Lillian having to take some sacrifices. As we're going to see some early aggression again. Kohibi wanting to take control of Underpass, but Jenny, for the time being, is watching that like a Hawks as this B execute looks to come to fruit.
That is a slow push out, but heavy, heavy presence over by back alley into apartments. You can see Misha's going to be the one holding over at B site. She's not going to be entirely alone here. Over by short. Got Arel and Kohibi ready to react if they see that coming through.
And Kohibi can just provide such an efficient flank so early on. She's in the underpass area. She can be up into the apartments before the executors even come in. And you can see Team Z, they really don't have a lot of other options as the peak comes in. But Kohibi taken down by Jenny, and that actually unlocks some options for the T side. And we're going to see them exploiting them here, instantly backing out of B and starting to make their way back rounding towards middle, where Temple is going to exploit this underpass control. And Phoenix, they're going to start to work their way back round, perhaps look to hit the A bomb site.
Team Z know they have an opportunity here, not just because of the numbers, but because Kohibi's been the one getting those entry frags onto them in all of these rounds. So that slow rotate will come into A here. They're going to make a feint to keep Shiloh locked up in that area for the time being. It looks like she might back away now. And the play is going to be split. One going down through Palace, another through A ramp.
And here the push comes in. They're starting to make their way out onto the site. Aurel very slow on the rotate. Has to be conscious of underpass. And the mid play is good from Timple to make it 5 versus 3 now. This force buy looking good, but Decorguez looking to capitalize. And Alel on the AWP hits a huge flick to take down Jenny. And now Timple has to get up close and personal. Of course, the AWPer not so good up close. And Alel can't quite hit the quick scope. Still trying to buy time as Decorguez gets another. Alel finally taken down, but it's a 2v1. And Shiloh,
can she do it? The bomb's dropped. You've got to go in there, pick it up, get a quick plant down, but you have no time. It's 3 seconds remaining. That's going to be a save, and it will be another round for Phoenix. They take 6.
She needs to be careful here as well. Dying off to time, not going to be optimal at all. 2 rifles kept up for the CT side. Phoenix get their 6th on the board, as you said, Devin, and this is looking really, really rough.
Again, man, Team Z, they took this pick. They took this map. They thought, hey, you know, we want a Mirage versus Archangel. We can do it again now versus Phoenix, and not looking great on the T-side start.
Not looking great at all so far. The buy isn't going to be great, and that might be the saving grace for Team Z. They're going to be able to get AKs and an AWP, and Phoenix, they are having to drop down onto the FAMASs. They're not in the ideal situation, but most of their players are so strong. No AWP, but we'll have to see what Shiwu can do with that AWP in her hands.
Looking at that scope angle right now. Trying to get some control over mid.
Alel forced to hold mid with that M4A for a really risky play. You know the probability of an AWP being towards top of middle, and they are always going to win those duels. Just decides to fall back off the angle, give herself a better spot in towards underpass, where we will see Lillian starting to push up, and Alel flashed out the AWP, and there you go. All too easy for Team Z to get the opening pick. Jenny burning down and will actually be taken down. Manages to get one.
What's going on there? It's a trade 1 for 2 at the very least when the dust is all settled, but Arel getting lit up as well. This is going to be difficult as she tries to get that hold. It's not going to happen. Lillian combos up. Temple now taking out Kohibi. This is a chance for the T's to make their way into A site. However, Mish is not done just yet with the FAMAS. Going hunting right now. Needs the angle. Finds one. Temple down. It's a 1v1. There's a big tag to work with here, but if she finds Xiaowu, it may not mean a difference. Bomb gets planted down pretty quickly. Mish peeks, backs away immediately.
The tap on the plant just to try and bait the peek out, and Shiwu, she's looking for the fight. She is finally going to plant that bomb down. A couple of flashbangs, but she fakes it again. She hits the push. We go. What a play from Shiwu to get that 2nd round on the board for Team Z and save the AWP as well. That is exactly what they needed.
Team Z finally getting another one on the board, and their buy will come through. They paid pretty dearly for that win, but they still have money in the bank to work with as the loss counter only ticks down. Definitely benefiting them, that change that recently happened with the loss counter not getting reset with a win.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, you could see the economy's just not there for Phoenix. They really haven't had a chance to get any kind of cash built up in that loss bonus. They're going to be back down onto the CZs, the P250s, 1 flashbang for Arel to try and open something up as, again, Team Z, they're going to look to take advantage of the range and make their way through middle. The AWP holding the angles as full utility execute coming through, and Kohibi looking to make something happen in connector. Can't quite get it.
Way too many numbers for Kohibi to deal with, and they decide they're going to be moving on to A once again. This mid play finally working out in Team Z's favor a couple rounds in a row. The back away here from Decorguez on the CZ, spotted out immediately, and this should be an easy plan for Team Z to get their momentum rolling.
And you can see Jenny instantly backing out of that situation. She knows she doesn't have to push onto the B bomb, so the bomb's going to go down. Alel in the Ladder area, not going to be finding too much at all, and it's just a lockout for the CT side. The pistol force by really not getting anything done for them, and all 5 players alive for Team Z is absolutely crucial. They're going to start to build up their cash, get a little bit of money in the bank, and really build their half.
So this is starting to be the makings of a comeback for Team Z on their own map. T-sided, they'll go up 3 rounds. Ooh, peek out there for Temple, trying to hunt for a couple more kills here as Rel does get tagged.
Jenny wants to do the same, but
LL manages to mow her down, though.
Really well
CZ.
played, using the ladder, and of course you get massive inaccuracy on the ladder, but on the CZ spray really doesn't matter. Takes the frag, gets an AK-47 as well, and the ladder will save her life. The Molotov not going to burn her down at all.
That's the best thing for Phoenix in this situation. They were already locked out. You mentioned it yourself. It's no chance of really getting the defuse off, and they save an AK after the fact.
And that's absolutely crucial. You can see LL's on 4850. She can drop a rifle across if they want to try and go for the buy here. And it looks like they might be considering the opportunity. It would leave them very, very limited in utility, however. So we are going to see the pause coming in. Team just considering the options available to them. And after such a strong round from TZ, they've really got to be thinking.
I think you're right here. It looks like the pause does come in on the Phoenix side to try and arrest this momentum. A little bit of communication happening across the way.
Such a strong start from them as well, going 6-1 on the CT side, but a little bit of a recovery coming through from Team Z, and they've really given themselves a chance. They've built that platform, and now they've just got to expand on it, start trying to take some rounds, start giving themselves some opportunities.
Yeah, you know, for a first showing, too, for Phoenix on this map, it has not been bad at all. This is their first Mirage of the tournament, and, well, I think they definitely have shown that they're strong in a variety of things here, but they do need to grab that momentum back for themselves to try and roll over Team Z like they did on Inferno on day number 1.
Yeah, and indeed they are going to go for that force buy. They're going to sacrifice a lot of utility here, but the dropped rifle will allow them to get 5 out. The FAMAS onto Decorgez. There's M4s across the board. I'm not sure if Alel doesn't have anything. I'd be very surprised if she hasn't got a rifle to work with, as it looks like it's going to be an A execute coming out from Team Z, and Shiwu, an early pick.
On the op now, and all of a sudden Decorgez is in a bit of trouble. You could see Phoenix, they heavily invested to try and guard that entrance, that connector, and that kind of allowed Team Z to start picking them apart here. Onto the A execute it goes. Alel gets knocked down, doesn't even get a tag onto Team Z. And this should be that bomb plant scenario right now. Looks like it's going to be Kohibi going down as well. Arel trying to get the tag onto Jenny, doesn't manage to find her on the box. But there's way more members of the T side to work with.
Aurel still doing so much work from that position, but 3v2, the bomb goes down. Lillian is tagged very low after Kohibi pulls off that desperation play, desperately trying to get a frag, anything to enable her team to try and get this retake happening, but there's 3v2. The rifle's very definitely favoring Team Z at the moment, and there's no utility really for the CT side to push in with. Aurel, just the one flashbang to try and work this.
Phoenix are the ones that have to push in on the retake scenario. Xiaowu just taking that one quick shot here, and here comes Mish coming in, trying to get that one, but tagged away by Lillian as she turns. Team Z get the eliminations and win the round.
Despite the tags as well, you can see Shiloh takes the dink down to just 11 HP, but Team Z do secure their 4th round, and they've really given themselves an opportunity here. You can see the economy for Phoenix is not there at all. They're going to be back down on the pistols. The force buy doesn't work, so they've got to go back down to nothing.
That was the gamble, and they lost it on Phoenix side, so this is a real chance for Team Z to try and pick that back up and even out the series in a couple more games.
And that would be an absolutely ideal outcome after such a dominant start from Phoenix. Team Z biting back fully, and they are going to be down to the Deagles and the P250s. Phoenix stacking that A-bomb site fairly heavily, just sending Aurel towards B, and at the moment it looks like Team Z are going to try and head there.
Yeah, Jenny, the one with the op this time around, tried to get that scope up onto the A side, but just a feint to see if they could pick up a quick kill here, and you can see down through into apartments. This is going to be the play for Team Z once again. You got to be careful not to get caught in the meat grinder, but there's no big gun to work with, so they're not as worried about it up against the Phoenix side. It's really only Aurel guarding that entrance to B.
Jump Spot picks up the information though, so the rotations are going to come in, and Aurel, she has to hit shots, she has to buy time, but they're already pushing onto the site, and there's so much pressure here on Aurel. Has to hit something, can't quite connect with the shots, will finally get the one, but the trade is there from Timple, and the CTs rushing in, haven't managed to make their way onto the site. This bomb should go down 4 versus 4, without too many issues, as Shiloh is going to start mopping up the remaining CT players.
Yeah, that's 1, that's 2. Taken down Alel is Timple. And the bomb plant should go pretty easily here. In fact, they're just going to hunt for it to guarantee there's no chance at a response. It's just Decorgez. And she's going all the way back to T-site.
Just playing with the TV, turning it off. And she has the P250 to work with in a flashbang, but there's nothing she can really expect from this. Just trying to keep what she has available. Buy herself a little bit of time, perhaps take a rifle away, something to work with, but this isn't going to be happening. It's a really nice effort from Team Z to start finding rounds. And jumping shot from Siwu.
Man, Xiaowu definitely making some work happen there on that AK. And it will be a 5th round pickup for Team Z, kind of feeling the hometown energy.
Yeah, and I mean, they've come back so strong. It looked so worrying at 6-1 after 4 initial rounds go the way of Phoenix before. Team Z can get anything going, but now they're really starting to hit their stride in this series. 6-5, and the buy is in. It's not great. There's 5 M4s, no AWP, but there's a good amount of utility to back it up.
Well, let's see what Phoenix can get done here. This time they split a little bit more towards the B side, but Team Z have been doing a pretty good job of mind gaming them. Oh, that jump peek, that was dangerous. Jenny nearly found the shot on it.
Wanting to take mid control. They
aggressive mid control from the CT side, but it's going to bite him in the behind. Arel getting headshot by Temple. This information's given to Team Z.
And Alel's in an awful position here. The Molotov's going to force her out on 43 HP. She's trying to retreat. Kohaibi's got her back and will be able to find one. The trade not there though. Shiloh managing to find it. So 4v3, still the advantage, but Deco Gez equalizing on the A bomb side.
Yeah, Xiaowu going down, and now the bomb is kind of isolated here. It's just a little bit of chaos, and now we're in a 2v2 scenario. The remaining CTs heading over to A site, and so is Lillian.
This flank could be absolutely huge. They'll have an idea that she could be in this position, but nobody peeking from the CT side just yet. Spots her out. Can't quite hit the shot either, and as the bomb carrier's taken down, Mitch just wipes clean the slate, gets Phoenix around, and it's the first time in a while they've had one.
That being said, it was a pretty hefty investment. 2 saved AKs are what Phoenix are going to have, but they start to get a little bit of money back to work with, and you got to wonder how long they can keep this up. They need to build an economy.
Yeah, and you can see the cash so strong on Team Z. They're going to be able to get a really strong full buy into this next round despite losing, and it's not going to be the same story at all on that CT side. Kohaibi having to pick up the UMP. There is not a lot to work with at all for the CTs. They're going to have to pull off something a little bit special here if they want to take this round.
It's a lot of investment into the utility for the CT side, and we'll see the split once again. 3 heading towards B, 2 down, holding at A.
Kohaibi again looking for this underpass aggression, but it's pretty choreographed at this point. Lillian not currently watching for it, but she's going to make her way down the stairs, and the UMP up close and personal could really do work.
This is the spray! Oh no! Lillian turns it on to Kohaibi, and that gives Team Z the opportunity to start making moves. They'll immediately take control of mid.
Another missed smoke, but the execute starting to come through for the T side now, and with that man advantage, with the firepower advantage as well. Somebody needs to come up big for Phoenix, and Alel not the one to do it. Only able to find one as the bomb's traded down. 4 versus 3. Nice dink onto Jenny, but again, the M4 at range, not a one-shot kill, making things a little bit awkward for the CT side. There's tags to work with across the board, but they need to start hitting their shots as it looks like Team Z are going to make their way through to B.
Was a bit of indecision as they couldn't quite clear through connector, and it looks like the B play up through short, that's going to be the advantage. However, Decorguez dropped down by Temple before it all goes down. And this is a 3v2 scenario. Not anymore. Xiaowu getting taken out. It's trades back and forth, and Mish needs to hold on. Solo here. Let's see if she can do it on the A4.
Jenny is so low HP. That makes it at least a little bit viable. Everybody is a one-shot to the head with an M4. There's so many tags to work with. Jenny, low HP, playing with fire, and she will get burnt. 1 versus 1 now. Lillian trying to push up close and personal. Mitch needs to read it. Looking the wrong way entirely. Shot in the side of the head. Team Z, take it.
Team Z getting so close to evening this one out. They might even have a chance to take a lead going into halftime. 6-7 on the board, and the economy starting to get a little bit lighter there on Lillian, but everybody else has got plenty of money to work with.
That
and
was
Team Phoenix,
so unfortunate
that's rough
for Team
them.
Phoenix. Mitch just had to look the right way at the last possible second, turns away and shot in the side of the face. Always got to hurt. 7-6, and Team Z are 1 round away from drawing things level.
And it's going to be another pistol play here for Team Phoenix. They didn't have the money to work with, so they'll be able to get 1 more buy round in. But if they lose this one, 7-7, after they started so hot, the comeback from Team Z has been real.
It is seriously impressive, and I mean, Phoenix, they looked like they were going to run away with this at the start, but back down on the pistols again. The early peaks come through towards middle. There is a dink, and Aurel will be able to find the chest shot to refrag that. So 4 versus 4, but still the firepower advantage very much there for the T side. Decorguez gives her position away. The call comes through. The shot is there. The trade again from Alel. So the 5-7's doing a lot of work for the CT side, but now an isolated Kohaibi has to do so much. 2 versus 1. Picks up the AK, manages to find the frag.
Still a 1v1 now.
It's a 1 versus 1. The bomb's all the way back in T spawn, and Kohaibi has no idea.
Somehow,
the
CTs have managed to make this happen here. The move around the side, Lillian did not see that coming, and Kohaibi continues to be the nemesis of Team Z. 8 rounds in the bank for Phoenix.
And they needed that. That pistol round could not have gone better. The half-buy perfectly working, and you can see what it does to the economy of Team Z. They lose that half-buy, and suddenly there's no more cash in the bank.
Yeah, and it was very easily expected that Team Z would be able to pull within even on that round, but they got a little too hyphy. They lose a lot of money off of that one, and now you can see the pause coming in. They will have a bit of discussion about how that round went down.
Yeah, taking the time out, got to be working how they're going to take this last round of the half, give themselves a really good platform to build off of into the CT side, but it has been a hotly contested first map so far, and this looks like it's going to be an incredible series.
I think we certainly could be looking at it going the distance as the time goes by, but Phoenix proving to be the stronger team by inches right now. They will look to go into the half with a lead in this one, at least having that 8. Now, if Team Z can pick up one more round, it's effectively an even game.
Yeah, and the buy is not good at all for Team Z. They're down onto the AEK, the UMP, so going to be a very difficult task. They do have a Deagle, but Tech and a CZ, there is significant compromises across the board for Team Z. The Chinese roster not being able to get the full buy out, and this should be easy enough for Phoenix.
Well, Shiloh's the one with all the utility right now. However, she's seated way far in the back there over at the edge of house. And we'll have to see where the play ends up being. The bomb playing very far forward, but a good fan out for Phoenix. They're trying to slow this game down. It's been some very fast rounds in this first half of Mirage. Here comes the execution on A. Bomb's not with them, though. It's a bit of a split. And the first mowdown, Xiaowu gets taken down, but Jenny turns it around to Decorguez. Kohaibi waiting for Jenny. The light up, and that's going to be just enough. Alel getting that damage. And it looks like all of a sudden we're into a 2v2 scenario. The bomb plant goes down in the chaos over at B site. The good feint play from Team Z.
There had to be a hold of that B bomb site there. Not quite able to manage it, Phoenix. And now they've got to retake the site 2 versus 2. And this is going to be seriously awkward. Timple just has to hit shots with the Deagle, buying time for Shiloh. The bomb planted for the apartment, so an ideal situation for the T side as the push has to come in from Phoenix, and they're using all of their utility here, desperately trying to make their way in. Alel going to be peeking the apartments, can't quite hit the initial shot. Pre-fires towards short, and the flashbang is good. Aurel
here it comes.
Right to the crosshairs.
Alel and Aurel taken down. Team Z get one at the half, and it is such a close game.
And I mean, you can see it there on the scoreboard. Everybody is showing up for both sides here. Timple going huge in that last round, securing it on the B bomb site, and 8-7, the closest we can get at the half.
You're absolutely right here, Wolfie. This is going to be an insane match. I'm expecting us to go to that 30th round. This is going to be a good one for sure.
I think it's almost inevitable at this point, unless Team Z can pull off something really special on that CT side. It has been such a tightly contested game. Both teams hitting their shots, their aim looking absolutely on point. Everybody is ready for this game, ready and raring to go, looking to book themselves a place in that second playoff later today.
That's the other thing. After this, after all that, you're going to have to face off against a very strong Orange Sphinx side, and got to earn your way there first right now on Team Phoenix. I think they're wondering how it came to this. It was looking like such a strong start for them. We'll take a look at some of those plays. Alel on that high ground making a pretty good play for herself, but Kohaibi turning it back around onto Temple, and then Lillian through the apartments, finding the shots. Kohaibi had a lot of highlights herself this time around.
Yeah, I mean, she played really well individually, both with the rifles and the pistols, making a lot of damage happen with very little to her name, but that B-bomb site, a hold at the end, just disintegrated around them, and it was really unfortunate because it looked like there was going to be a bit more of a lead coming in for Phoenix there, but we go into the pistol at 8-7.
Ooh, everyone's going to be meeting at A site just about right now if the push comes out. And this is going to be a fun one. USPS is pretty much across the board on Team Z now that they've swapped over to the CT side. And here comes the utility and the execution. Will they be able to find it? Shiloh trying to get Mish over there. Gets the tag up, and that's going to be the finishing blow. However, no trade back available. And Team Z wiped the floor with Phoenix.
What a headshot playing from Dark. That was absolutely insane. 4 kills from that Dark position. You should not be getting that much.
And a big cheer coming from Team Z as they pull with an even keel, 8-8. What a pistol round for them.
And that is the exact start you want on your CT side. A stunning performance across the board. They look like they read that perfectly, clearly done their homework on Phoenix after the loss on day 1, and back with a vengeance, 8-8, and they will get the buyout.
Yeah, they picked Mirage. They certainly delivered on that first CT round, and here comes that buy. A handful of FAMAS's UMP in tow as well.
P250s across the T side of Phoenix. Going to be making their way in towards the apartments early on. Just looking for the information. Nobody going to get aggressive from Team Z. A wise decision. Don't want to walk into the P250s who almost connecting Mitch with a headshot. A little bit unfortunate there. Not quite got the timing down as the nades are dropped and Shiloh just backs off the angle.
It's a really good spread out here on the CT side. Just guarding every possible angle. Kohaibi getting tagged down to 19. Nobody's picked up the bomb either. Phoenix have elected to go for vision. Finally, that'll change. As Alel goes back, looks like the rotate out towards A is going to be the choice.
They've got so
aggressive.
much pressure.
Look at this for Jenny. Steps way too far forward, and Aurel takes her down.
Double dink to the face. That is brutal. And off the back of that, we are going to see Phoenix looking to execute in towards this A-bomb site. Still got a lot of work to do, but there's only 2 CT players here at the moment. And she was going to struggle with that MP9 at range as the push starts to come in. The tags are coming through as well. This is going to be a lot of effort.
ZOWIE trying to keep eyes on everybody here. Mish coming up through that tunnel here on connector, and a few tags to work with as Lillian's taken down, and so is ZOWIE. Phoenix, they know the go time is now, as they'll be able to get all that and more here. The plant down, saving a couple of guns. This is the best they're going to hope for as DCorgez takes down Shiloh.
And it's all down to Timple, 1 versus 3, and she has no idea where these T-sided players are. The Zeus! The Zeus from Kohibi just to get the round. That is absolutely disrespectful. But
100% swag right there for Phoenix as they take a 9th. No one expects the Zeus to the face.
Oh, that is ridiculous. 9-8, and you can see the giggling across that Phoenix roster. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, man. That was wonderful.
That's just mind games. That has got to trigger you so hard on your CT side of Mirage.
That's going to be one for the highlight reel. I love the sound effect that comes with it, too.
Oh, absolutely. It is just ridiculous in its own right, that weapon, as the pause will be coming in from Team Z. Of course, they took that pistol round, and then immediately we see the response coming out from Phoenix.
I can't believe they couldn't go for the anti-eco. I mean, that was insane. The pickup on the UMP and just everything coming out from Phoenix. They really knew how to answer back. This continues to be such a close game. 9-8 here in the second half. We'll take a look at the buy coming in. Actually, a couple of guns traded there over to Phoenix as they managed to pick up the FAMAS and the UMP, and it is a half-buy situation. CZ's coming in here for Team Z.
Yeah, the full force across the board. They have spent all of their cash on these pistols. A few nades around in support as well, but of course, we're going to see the executing towards middle coming out from Phoenix. They know that they're only going to be on the pistols at best here, Team Z, so they're going to make use of the range of their rifles. Timple going for the peaks, not able to find anything. DCorgez takes it down, and this push into B is absolutely perfect.
Phoenix now 100% control over the B site. The rest of the CT's coming through, and this is going to be rough for Team Z to try and sniff around. Arel's got eyes on everybody. Kohibi looking to do the same.
This is just an impossible holdout. Alel already on the flank in middles, managed to take out Lillian as she looked to make her way in towards short, and 2 versus 5 at this point. The pistols, nothing more to gain. Mitch going to start hunting as DCorgez gets one, and it will be one, but it's only the UMP dropped, so no real harm, no foul for Phoenix as they stretch their lead to 2.
Back in the board on the T side. They're starting to look a little more comfortable. After that pistol round, a real big turnaround in their favor, and we'll see the buys coming in now. AKs across the board. They do hang on to the FAMASs, and an AWP comes in for DCorgez. And
the problem here for Team Z is off the back of that force buy, if it doesn't work out, you're instantly on the eco. No cash left in the bank. Timple the only one able to upgrade, and she's only getting a deagle. P250 for Shiwu. Not a lot to work with whatsoever, so going to be a really awkward round coming in here. Fairly split between the bomb sites, but a lot of aggression in towards A.
You're not wrong about that one, and it looks like Phoenix looking to establish mid-control here. They'll head behind boxes, now down ramp, and all they got to do is knock down Lillian at connector, and they should have a pretty clear pathway towards A. Peeking around, looking for Lillian. That's going to be enough. The spray is there. And now the execution comes through. The rest of the CTs moving back in. Timple getting dropped down. So is Jenny. They've cleared the space, and an excellent execution by Phoenix.
Absolutely lethal, and it's down to Shiloh and her teammate just to try and find any kind of exit damage here. You can see Mitch on 16 HP, going to go hunting a little bit, and that should be a pickup.
And
it
too.
will be just the one. So Shiloh able to find one, but that is all they'll get. Dropped down, 11-8 the scoreline. Phoenix, they're looking to re-establish themselves on the T side.
This is beautiful. If they can take a hefty lead, they'll be feeling so much more confident going on to train. Match is paused now. Team Z, it'll be their turn to try and arrest the momentum.
Again, seeing these pauses used really effectively. I do love this from these teams. You don't see it too often. They're using these pauses every time. This is Team Z taking a pause, going, okay, we're 3 rounds behind. How can we build back into this? What's our buy going to look like? How's this round going to pan out? Who are we going to kill and what site are we going to hit? And it's perfect.
It's very important to do that, and this is why we see these swings coming back and forth sometimes. If you don't take a lot of the pauses, you can let yourself get psyched out and you lose round after round after round, and before you know it, you find yourself in a massive deficit. Team Z not going to let that happen.
Exactly, and I think that's a really important thing to see. We really don't see pauses used enough in the professional game, and this is a lovely precedent to see. It is really effective use of the pause times, and Team Z, they've got to be scratching their heads. Losing that second round anti-eco is never a good thing, as they will be able to get the buyout. It will be 5 rifles. Org, the only lonely Org, is on to Lillian as the AWP of DCorgez goes for the early A ramp peak.
Keeping an eye on it right now. Information is what Phoenix are after, and potentially a pick early on. Not super aggressive play from Team Z as they look to try and control all the angles of attack here. Push forward comes in for LL. Solo just sniffing for information. Bomb left behind.
Yeah, just clearing the underpass area, making absolutely sure there's no kind of aggression coming in from the CT side. Not looking like they want to push anywhere in particular. Team Z playing very passive into the early round. They have Temple in the ladder room, so she can try and cover in towards window, or indeed short if needed, as the push does come through mid, and there's full presence here for Phoenix. They have no other area of the map to work.
They've met back up over in mid, looking to go through connector, back on an A site. That seems to be the favorite, but they need to start getting some information on where Team Z are before they can happen. Xiaowu not moving forward far enough to check in here, and Team Z, they don't have the information to work with. There we go. Temple should be able to see that one, and out of the top, that's going to be the first pickoff. And Alel takes her down with the AK headshot.
Pressure really on now for Team Z. They've got to try and find a way to get a frag back. The Molotov buys a little bit of time, but you can see Aurel so close and personal as Kohibi does find Jiwoo, and now this is really, really rough. Mitch looking the wrong way, does have the bomb on her back, needs to be a little bit cautious, wait for the support, and she will. Decorguez misses the shot. Mitch dropping down, takes the tag, and the shot is there from Shiloh. Trade out, though.
About as much as Aurel could try to do to trade that back, and it looks like this is going to be pretty easy to get that plant on. It's now going to be all into Lillian just with that lonely AUG to try and deal the damage she needs, but this is going to be so hard, and she's moving way back, so this might be a safe scenario here if she can even do it. She doesn't have the information, turns it around onto Alel. Lillian gets tapped heavily, but manages the damage.
Now this is awkward. Kohibi will spot her out, making her way back in towards the A ramp, but Lillian should be able to keep her hands on the AUG, keep the cash going for the CT side, give them an opportunity. 12-8. Phoenix, we saw this kind of run from them in the start of the first half, and they're doing the same here.
So Team Z backed away. Lillian will be able to get the save for the most part, but you can see Phoenix fanning out to hunt. That's going to be it. Just getting to the safe distance away from the bomb. So Phoenix taking round 12. They'll need 4 more to put this map one away.
And I mean, if they put this map one away, it's going to be very, very rough for Team Z to come back into this series. Phoenix going to be building in confidence every time, as again, Decoy gets still on that AWP. So much cash, so much money across that T side for Phoenix, and it's a very different story over on Team Z. That one saved AUG, all they're really going to be able to get, perhaps some pistols in support, as we will see the P250s picked up, but it is a dire situation for the CT side. No money left in the bank at all, and it looks like the call is to stack B.
Yeah, this is going to be rough here for Team Z, so they will try to stack it to make sure they can get some quick surprise kills on Phoenix. But Phoenix have 2 situated into the A site, and they'll be able to tell pretty quickly that there's no one here on the CT side.
Yeah, Chiwu, the lone player, in towards that A bomb site. You can see rotating in towards CT now, just looking for any information that she can glean, perhaps call a rotation and allow her teammates to make their way towards this A bomb site. The bomb's still all the way back in spawn for Phoenix, so there's an opportunity here for the CT side. The bomb yet to make its way towards either site, as we will see Shiloh backing out of that B bomb site hold.
Looks like Phoenix moved towards B, or rather moved towards middle, and Decorguez will head back slowly for the bomb, and the execute onto A seems to be the choice here. Shiloh is going to have to back up into that corner, try and prevent the damage here, and the spray is way too much for her to handle. Aurel takes her down to start things off, and that's going to be the tick to go for Phoenix here. Mish does take a lot of damage, and so does Aurel and Kohibi. This is the chance right now for Team Z to pick them off.
3 versus 2 now, and the AWP has got to do so much work here. Alel and Decorguez trying to help her out, but 2 versus 1. The tags are there. Not the shot. Team Z out of nowhere secure the rifle round.
And they managed to salvage quite a lot for it. In fact, the AWP picked up, the AK saved, and all of a sudden, that low economy is not seeming to worry them too much.
And of course, the pause coming in almost immediately thereafter. I mean, you can't argue with that. That was absolutely huge from TZ on the pistols.
I can't believe they just pulled that off. We've seen so many pistol rounds in this tournament, or so many eco rounds in this tournament turn away, and the anti-eco just hasn't been as strong. Phoenix, a little stunned there. There's communication, though.
Yeah, the individual skill across that 7 p.m. side, absolutely huge. 7 p.m., excuse me, Team Z, the other Chinese roster.
Yeah, it ain't 7 p.m. yet, man. We got one day ahead of us.
The individual skill there was just insane, hitting all of their shots with the pistols, giving themselves the best possible opportunity to take that round. And indeed, they do a slight mischance at the end with the AWP, but the conversion's what matters, and it will be the buy coming in across the board from Phoenix. Going to be dropping down onto the full AKs, 5 AKs across the board. Chiwu again getting the AWP in her hand, so let's see what she can do with that.
Well, let's see how the fan-out works this time around. Phoenix have tried for a very complicated maneuver, and it just really didn't work. And this time, they'll keep the bomb in tow, look to establish mid-control. They do have Decorguez sitting down there in the corner of Palace, but everybody else is looking to connect through mid.
Yeah, and this mid presence is coming through. There's nobody really towards mid for Team Z, playing very passively at the moment, just looking to hold the sites. And that is an interesting call. Mirage, one of those maps that is really mid-centric, as we will see Kohibi and Alel taking control of middle for Phoenix. And that's a good chunk of the map to have, as it looks like they're setting up for a split towards B.
Yeah, two sneaking their way into apartments right now. Mish one leading the charge, and in fact, they brought DeCorgez all the way back to that point. Keeping that mid control, though, is Phoenix at the moment, but they need to be able to get out of here without being spotted by either Shiloh or Temple, and Temple has been an absolute crack shot in this game so far. The rest looking to come up through connector and just see if they can spot anybody out.
Shiloh misses the initial shot with the AWP, not quite able to connect, and now the push starts to come in. Temple from backbench will be able to get the initial frag, and that buys time for Shiloh.
So many T's falling. Shiloh, Lillian, Temple all comboing up here. Disaster for the T side as the rest try to come up through the smoke, through the fire. Mish is going to get taken down. Aurel does turn it back, but she's the lone lady left in this team trying to get that bomb plant down. If the rest of the CT scramble, they'll at least get 800 money off of this.
Only saving grace is that Team Z are nowhere near this B bomb site. That's going to allow Aurel a little bit of time to set herself up in the afterplant situation. Gets into short, into the pillar position. She'll get the early peaks here. Takes the double spray. 1v1. Can she get it? She can't. Lillian's so close, but so far. Team Z getting the defuse by the skin on their teeth.
Just enough for Team Z to breathe a sigh of relief on that one. It was a real close call after they lost both their players over at B. And Team Z will take double digits in the round 12-10. This continues to be an incredibly close game of Mirage.
Lillian on 15 HP, just about clutching that one out for a second. I thought Aurel had it in the bag, and there's still plenty of money for Phoenix off the back of that one. Such success in that round. They're going to be able to get a very strong full buy across the board. But there's still going to be the AWP available for Team Z.
That's the critical thing here. Both players, both teams' economies were doing okay, at least for that round. If Team Z do lose it, though, this next one's going to be a rough buy situation for them. They will fan out, putting 2 on A site. Trying to establish middle control here with Jenny on the op, but nobody's peeking in there. The smoke comes down pretty early.
Really nice lineup for the smoke again from the T side. Phoenix, they really look like they have this mid control locked down. They know exactly how they want to execute. You can see Mitch and Aurel just holding for any kind of push from the CT side. Nothing coming through, though. And it's a very passive start to the round from Phoenix, not looking to execute anywhere with any kind of speed, just waiting and seeing what Team Z want to try.
Very passive start, trying to fan out as much as possible as Team Z. You can see the biggest movement here is just Shiloh kind of alternating back and forth to short corner. And the bomb will start to rotate down south. It looks like we're heading for an A play.
The execute looks like it's being lined up. Lillian's in such a difficult spot to clear here. In towards Sandwich, it's going to be a nightmare for the T side of Phoenix to get her out. And from CT, Jenny can look to support with the AWP as the nades will start to rain over. Alel's thrown that smoke a little bit early. The lineup not there for the rest of the team. So this is a little bit awkward.
Yeah, the information given away at that point, and I wonder if it may be a feint here. There's some hesitation on the Phoenix side to try and fully commit in through a ramp. They will be going eventually. But you've got to be careful. There's that lineup for Lillian on the AUG, and they're going to throw the Molotov to try and buy a little bit of time. Not in the right direction here. Kohibi nearly peeking out through it. And the movement goes. Kohibi going up to the top there, and that's going to be the execute onto Lillian.
The Molotov as well clears the AWP out, and Alel will find the frag. 5 versus 3 now, and Shiwu has to play around the smoke. Manages to get a first, but that's all she'll find. Trying to push through. Gets taken down. DeCorgez takes it, and now it's 4 versus 2. The tags through the smoke. Temple down to half HP as Shiloh is able to get one towards CT. LRL trades out, though, and now 3 versus 1. Temple, with it all to do, is stuck on the stairs at the moment, and it doesn't look like she's getting anywhere.
Just trying to get that information, but it's a dangerous peak when you know there's still at least 3 alive. The top ground, no, it's not going to be enough. Phoenix grab a 13th.
And get them to themselves with 2 within just 3 rounds of taking this. And again, the CT economy breaks.
And that's the problem right now. You find yourself in a bad situation with only 3 rounds for Phoenix to try and take it all. You're forced into an eco.
The pause coming through, and you've got to imagine it's Team Z again. They're in such an awkward position. The force has already come in from Temple. She's picked up the Deagle and the HE, but you can look despondent faces on that Team Z side. Not looking happy with things whatsoever, and it's really awkward to put yourselves in this situation here. You're going to go down 14-10 if this round doesn't go well, and you don't have the money to get rifles.
And remember, this is their map. They felt confident enough to pick up Mirage. They will go over to train after this, but all of a sudden, they're seeing flashbacks of what happened. It was a very close loss, that first one that they took up against Team Phoenix in the first day. And if it happens again, if their confidence does break, you have to wonder how bad train is going to look.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a good position to be in at all. They are down. They have the CZs. They have a Deagle onto Temple, who has fully invested here. Her teammates, not quite the same story. They're down on the CZs. A P250 for Jenny to try and make something happen, but the buy is so good for Phoenix. We have seen miracles with pistols before. Could this be another one?
This is going to be the commit onto the B site right now for the CTs. And it looks like Phoenix are still fanning out. They're not going to pick up the bomb just yet here, but with a full spread of AKs, They should have the advantage. Look to secure mid control. Make sure nobody from Team Z is rushing up that.
Yeah, really passive play to start things off. You can understand it from Phoenix. They don't want to walk into a pistol stack and put themselves at a risk. They have the AKs. They're looking to use the ranged engagements as the rotation just starting to come through. Timple making her way over towards that A-bomb site where currently there's a couple of players for Phoenix. They've got Decorkez and they have Kohibi looking for the information, looking for the picks.
Phoenix, the rest of that team, playing a little bit farther back. Bomb does get picked up here. Going to go into the hands of Mish. As they will slowly work their way towards A, not seeing anybody, they realize this might be the better chance, and it definitely is with 3 CTs stacked on the B site.
Just Timple to defend from this push as the utility's being lined up. And again, Phoenix, they're going to go for this A execute. The smokes will go over the top. The rotation from Lillian is coming in, but could it be too little too late, as it looks like Phoenix are going to execute onto this A bomb site. Timple going to be making the call, and we'll see the rotations coming through. But Phoenix, they've got to make their way onto the site, and they've got to do it now. A missed shot from Timple gives Decorkez a lifeline, and the damage is still coming through from CT as the push onto the site.
Tag onto Arel at the moment. That's all they can really claim for. Here we go. Alel's going to get lit up as well, but the bomb is down, and here's the chance. Into the pistols they go, and Shiloh nearly taken out, finally will fall. Arel is going to get taken down, but really made it worth their while. And the rest of the CTs are trying to scramble here. Jenny and Xiaowu through the smoke. Xiaowu solo lady taken out. Phoenix grab a 14th.
And just 2 rounds away from taking the first map here. That would be a seriously impressive feat. The pistol buy not quite working out for Team Z. They did manage to pick up an AK, and Jenny gets a secondary frag with it, but that's all she can manage. Currently sat on just 9 kills, struggling to get into this game at all, as again, it's going to be the full buy. The CTs will be able to get rifles out to try and combat this, but Timple, of course, she forced into the previous round, so just a deagle.
That's not looking great for that force on the buy. Xiaowu at least does have the AWP here. Another fan out. It looks like it's going to be 3 stacked on the A site. Team Z do realize that Phoenix seem to like to commit to this, but they take a little while to do it. They spread out. They play cautiously. They keep Team Z guessing, and that's exactly what you need to do against this Chinese side.
Just making sure that the CT side can get no information on how this play is going. Phoenix being meticulous with their executes, throwing the smokes, throwing the nades, making absolutely certain they leave nothing to chance here. 2 rounds away from taking this first map, and that would be quite a statement before we head into the second, as Temple's just holding for that A ramp peak and has the support of the AWP behind her on top of Ticket, so there is potential for this to go through.
This is a pretty aggressive position to hold for Temple right now, and she definitely has been stepping up in the clutch, but it's going to be so tough to do when all you're looking at is a deagle. And there's the peek out. Kohibi does get tagged pretty heavily, finally getting fired down. That's the finisher from Temple on the headshot. Alel does turn around and trade onto Jenny and Lillian, coming back onto Alel as well. This is becoming a very expensive round for Phoenix as they find themselves just down to 2 AKs.
Has to be Mitch here, has to make the play. 3 versus 2. Timple playing double to perfection, just keeping herself obscured from that A ramp peak. And you can see Jiwoo desperate to get something started as finally the deagle peaks. The tag is there, but the A-bomb site looking a little bit vulnerable. Shilu making the rotate back in. The bomb's currently in the hands of Mitch, who's all the way down in the A ramp. The Molotov will force the AWPer out, but if the M4 could get the damage done, this could all be over here. Very patient. 25 seconds left. Phoenix, they've got to go, and they know it. Decoy gets peaks wide, not able to find the shot line. It's all on Mitch.
Gonna be it. Team Z managed to hold on. Not just yet, though. The plant comes through. That's going to be it.
Really well played by Team Z. The aggression there at the end from the AWPer, absolutely perfect. If she'd gone too soon, it could have been a frag for Phoenix, but 14-11 the scoreline. It will be the buy across the board from Phoenix, but the counter will be there. Team Z taking it down to the wire.
They really are. That was such a close hold here, and you didn't want to be put in a situation where Phoenix were on match point. You were still only sitting on 10 rounds. So Team Z have already bested their best performance against Phoenix. Let's see if they can keep this going.
And that's something to cheer about, but down to the FAMASs. The utility really not there for the CT side on this attempt. Jiwoo will get the AWP in her hand.
Oh, it's a B rush.
A little bit of something as the early contact will be towards that B bomb site. Bomb making its way in towards the apartments. As again, we're seeing that mid-control methodical play coming out from Phoenix, using that team synergy to get the early picks.
Yeah, not everybody going onto the B side as the mid-control does get established here. You got to be careful if you are Shiloh at the moment, trying to hold out in that corner on short. Jumping through the boxes, the smoke's down. This is going to be the push in here for Arel. Has to be careful, otherwise runs into the crosshairs as Shiloh. That's going to be the headshot immediately on the FAMAS. And the movement comes in. Mish getting lit, Kohibi getting taken down, and the T is getting stunned here as Team Z moves into position, but they have lost 2 already. 3v3, but
versus 3, there's potential, but Lillian could go through this smoke. Opts not to, and the bomb plant is for short. And you can see Decorguez has support from Alel in that position. Just Mitch left on the site on 4 HP. She just has to buy time here as the CTs look to make this retake happen. All three of them in towards the market as they make the push out through the window. The flash full blinds Jenny, but Mitch alone on the site will be taken down, and now they've got to peek these short players. The boost coming up, but Jenny's already pushing all the way through, gets the early shot. Decorguez able to find the frag, and Chiwoo doesn't have the defuse kit. Two versus one.
That's going to be it here. Lillian, 1v1 now. Lillian holding out for the last second, but Alel takes the round, going to match point.
15-11. What a series we have had here on Mirage as we head to match point. And interestingly, Alel not opting to pick up that AWP. Says she's confident with the AK and she knows the buy's not going to be good at all for Team Z. They're down onto the pistols again.
This is for a potential last round. They have to hold out and hope they can win this to stall it. It's going to be a half buy here as the UMP comes in for Shiloh, CZ for Lillian, and a Deagle on Temple. This is a last gasp effort for Team Z.
This is not good at all, and you can see Phoenix again. They're going to look to use the range of these AK-47s, the advantage that they know they have to secure map 1 and give themselves a real opportunity going into that second map as the mid-smoke will come through from Mitch, and they've got map to work with here, Phoenix.
Map for days. They have time, a minute and a half as well, as they've established mid-control. Pushing out from boxes, of course, is Mish. What a brilliant T-side we've seen out of Phoenix here. They picked it back up after Team Z had arrested their momentum.
And could that be the catalyst for a 2-0 here, Phoenix? This is the map pick of Team Z. They need this one to go their way. They needed Mirage to build that confidence. They went out 2-0 in day 1 to Phoenix, and they're going to be having nightmares about that happening again as Mitch starts to take control of Connector. You can see a little bit of aggression coming in from the CT side. Shiloh making her way through the B apartments, and that will allow the rotation from Lillian in towards A. A little bit more support as the push starts to come through for Phoenix. They've left the bomb in spawn for the time being.
Bit of gap through that smoke there as they try to establish control. And it looks like we will see Aurel going back potentially to pick up that bomb, but the rest of the CTs are starting to move in here, and Mish is going to get tagged up heavily, taken out by Shiloh. That UMP doing some work, and she trades it in for an AK, looking for Alel. Tries to duck down, manages to get her. This is a chance for Team Z. They trade efficiently. It's down to Aurel.
3 versus 1 for Aurel has to come up absolutely huge here. She went to recover the bomb with 25 seconds left. She does have time to make this rush to B, but she has to be quick, and she can't get her AK out. She doesn't have time to do that. She has to run, and you can see already Lillian reacting to the situation, making her way towards that B bomb site. Aurel will have a moment to take down this initial CT player before she gets the bomb down. 10 seconds left on the clock. She needs 4 to get this plant, so she's got to stick it now. Planting for short, and they'll know that. Lillian straight through the window, spraying down. Team Z get their 12th, and they're within 3.
That's everything they needed, picking up 3 AKs, managing to hold out in the half-buy situation. And Team Z are still alive in this Game 1 of Mirage.
And the economy, look at the money for Phoenix. They don't have a lot of cash left at all. They're going to be down to the half-buy.
Team Z can see the revenge in their eyes. They want so badly to take out this Singaporean side who delivered them their first 2-0. Half-buy situation coming in now as Kohaibi and Mish pick themselves up some CZs.
And they have been so lethal with these pistols, Phoenix, time and time again. They have found opportunity where there should have been none. It looks like it's the straight rush B call, so Shiloh and Timple have to go huge here. They're actually waiting for the contact, so a little bit more of a measured play than I expected as the early utility is thrown by Team Z.
As Phoenix start to take a moment. They can't afford to give this information away and risk the rest of Team Z establishing themselves on B site. Shiloh trying for the jump peek to get that information, and here comes the utility out. The game is up. Instant Molotov out of here. They back away, letting the drop down happen as the turn comes through. Alel Kohaibi falling, but so is Shiloh, and so is Xiaowu and Temple. This is a chance for Phoenix to get the plant. This is exactly what they need to take 16 here. The turnaround, it's all on Lillian to hold the line.
A 3 versus 1, and she's making her way in towards market. This is such an impossible situation, a full bank of utility to use, but you can see Phoenix, they're so well established here. They have so many positions to work. She can get the spray for the first, but a 1 versus 2, the tags are coming through. She's 34 HP. They're swinging on all sides, and Phoenix, they take map 1 on Mirage.
And it looks like it was going to be close, and it was a lot closer than these two teams the last time they met, but relief on the faces of Phoenix as they take off their headsets, looking forward to round number 2 and their map pick of Train.
The lead of 1-0 as they go into their own map pick. How huge is that? They've given themselves an opportunity to yet again take that 2-0, yet again put themselves in a very dominant position here.
And it's disappointment on the opposite side. Team Z know that they had never had a better chance to take out the Singaporean squad. and they will have to go back to the drawing board for round 2, going in on to train. Yeah. Wolfie, this is going to be a tough ask for the Chinese team.
That is an awful situation to be put in. They lost on their own map pick, and now they're heading to train, which is such a team-based map, so execute heavy. You saw some of the individual skill from Team Z, but they're going to have to bring that at another level on train.
They absolutely will, but I think they did keep it very close here. When it swapped around the CT side, it looked pretty decent for a while. They managed to pick up rounds that honestly they had no business doing. The pistols coming through here, but it just wasn't enough at the end of the day. They needed to pick up 3 more to secure it, to at least get into a situation where they could have forced an OT, and Mirage turned out to be their downfall.
Yeah, Phoenix looked really solid on Mirage. I think, again, a little bit of a missed call perhaps in that veto. They made such a good job.
There's a precedent for it. They did manage to get a win, but Phoenix were just too solid. And let's take a look at Aurel, the MVP of the round with 26 kills, and Acadia 1.44.
That's just absolutely huge. And she did consistently stand up. You found yourselves constantly talking about her on that first map. Seemed to be all over the place, and the comparison is clear indeed. I mean,
it's killer as well.
It's killer as well. I was looking for 2
Look at
words
the ADR
once.
difference at this point. Aurel nearly got 1 full percentage through the entirety of the rounds, and compared to Xiaowu, who had some pretty respectable performances, just not enough.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Team Z, and you can see the statistics. They put in such a
Pretty
performance.
Big split. Jenny was probably the one lagging behind, but that was mostly because she just fell early on. You take a look at a lot of the deaths count, and she does have a lot of them, but the rest of the team definitely carrying more than their share of weight.
Yeah, they all put in a performance to be proud of. Jenny, a little bit unfortunate, of course, the AWP getting dropped all the time, and then you look at these stats, Alel and Aurel going absolutely
Nobody
huge
had
for
less
Phoenix.
than 20, except for Mish on the side of Phoenix here. This team is playing incredibly well together, and they all had chances to step up.
And that's what you want to see from Phoenix. You want to see your star players stepping up on that first map, immediately putting themselves out there, putting their team on the line, and giving them that victory on Mirage.
Yeah, well earned, especially the fact that they didn't have that map pick. They just had the side pick. We will be looking forward to seeing what they can do on train, try to prevent a 3-map game. And Phoenix, they've already done this once against the side of Team Z. They're definitely looking to lock out the second Chinese contenders.
Yeah, they've got to be feeling incredibly comfortable here. Of course, they're heading onto their own map pick. They've done the 2-0 before. They know how to do this. They've been here, done that, got the postcard. They're going to be feeling very confident.
I think they will. And the hometown heroes, they're going to have to hope they can get a bit more of that energy from the fans at home before they look down the barrel of getting locked out 2-0. But looking ahead to those playoffs, whoever wins this one, going up against Orange Sphinx, that is going to be a tough ask. But I can't wait to see it, especially if it's going to be the Singaporean side taking on against the Malaysian contenders.
That would be absolutely huge. The neighbours coming up against each other. And, I mean, Orange Sphinx, they have been a fantastic roster through this tournament, looking strong throughout. But there's a lot of teams that could compete, and we are going to head to a break, and we'll be back very, very shortly with the second map. Stick around.
大家好，我们是来自中国预选赛区晋级的 Z Team， 我是队长小吴。我们是去年由前 LP 女子战队其中4名队员组成的，因为我们之前战队因为一些原因解散了，然后这次就想把大家聚在一起打个比赛，这是我们队第1次参加的比赛，感觉十分开心，十分激动吧，因为大家已经很久没有在一起了。所以这次见面能一起努力为一个比赛去努力，大家心情都挺开心的。之前因为我们组成比较仓促，就没有太多时间，所以有闲的时间我们都在训练。因为之前已经有良好的默契了，所以现在虽然时间比较紧迫，但是问题不大。预期肯定是第1名，肯定是我们自己国内的7PM，我觉得他们队挺厉害的。在去年 WSG 上总决赛上有交手过，7败。因为女子比赛本来就很少，而且这是ZOWIE办的这个女子比赛非常用心。我希望中国能有更多这样的赛事，能给女孩子一点机会。想对我说的就是，输赢无所谓，大家努力了就好。中国队，我们西班牙见。
How do you reveal the hidden enemies in PUBG? Adjust the black equalizer to brighten darker areas, which makes it easier to spot enemies hiding in the shadows.
And welcome back once again to the ZOWIE DIVINA 2019 Women Asia CSGO Championship. We can always mix those orders up. It's okay. It happens every now and again. And we are going on to map 2 here between Team Phoenix and Team Z. It was a rough ride for Team Z on Mirage. It was their map pick. They were unable to conquer, but they got closer than they ever have up against the Singaporean squad.
Yeah, I mean, it was still a solid performance from Team Z despite losing that map, and they can take some confidence from that. They looked good. They looked better than they've looked so far this tournament, and perhaps they can bring that form into Train and get an upset victory.
Well, we'll have to see if they are up to the task here, Wolfie. Train was, of course, the pick of their opponents, but they will have the choice of side at the very least. And, what are we expecting? I know it's a CT-sided map.
They've got to start CT side. They have to give themselves the opportunity to get the lead. We haven't seen them in the lead much at all in this first map, so the opportunity perhaps to set up a little bit of a dominant first half, give themselves something to build off as they come into the T side, and give themselves that opportunity to take it through to map 3.
Yeah, they have to give themselves a chance, but it's a tough ask against this squad that they've not been able to do not that much against. Honestly, it's been close, but they haven't been able to put a scoreboard up against Team Phoenix so far in this tournament. And, well, the hometown heroes are going to hope that they can get it done here on Train, expecting if they take that CT side, a lot of AUG play early on. Yeah,
it is an AUG-heavy map, to say the least, and it's a map that favors team play, and I think that's where Team Z are going to have some issues. They might not have those executes quite as well established as a roster who've been together 2 years like Phoenix, and I think it's going to be a little bit awkward, but I'm hoping the best for them. I'd love to see this one go to 3.
Yeah, to see it go the distance would definitely be great, and it would help Team Z to kind of exercise some of those demons up against the likes of the Singaporean Team Phoenix. And, well, here on Train, we're going to wait until we get ourselves underway. A last-minute discussion between the coaches, officials on stage as well, just to make sure everything is well sorted.
Yeah, the coaches will be just giving some last-minute words of wisdom, making sure the players know how to play this map, how they want them to play this map, what executes coming out, and perhaps a little pearl of wisdom they've spotted some from demos of the opponent team. Just work out the anti-strat, give yourselves the best possible chance of taking map 2.
Yeah, that is going to be the call there, of course, for the leader there, Captain Wu. Getting ready up for their team last-minute communication as they get started and get underway onto Train for this map 2, trying to force it out onto 3 to see what they can get done.
And this warm-up period is really important for both teams. You've got to get yourselves loose. You've got to feel confident. Of course, they've already played a map today, so they're going to be feeling pretty good already, Team Finish. But for Team Z, it's an opportunity just to reset yourselves, get yourselves back into the game. Don't focus on what just came. Focus on what's ahead. Remember how your coach has taught you to play Train. Remember how you love to play Train, and really try and build the best possible first half that you can, because I think if Team Z can build themselves a platform, there is a serious chance they could take map 2 and provide maybe perhaps an upset.
Yeah, we've seen them get rolling before. It may not have been against this team, but up against Archangel, they really showed the power that they have. And I think we've seen from this Mirage loss that they do have the power to keep it very close. You just have to execute better. You just have to get those rounds in. Both teams honestly guilty of making mistakes, especially when it came down to anti-ecos. We saw time and again that situation where they couldn't get it done. And here we are on to Train. It looks like Team Z will do the expected and go to the CT side first, fanning out here, mostly sticking towards A.
There's the push already coming through the Glocks at range. Kohibi just taking the head off, and that's an easy conversion for Alel, and now they're just going to make their way straight out. Chi were able to find one, but the trades are coming through all too quickly.
Oh, my word. Phoenix, that was a fast win, and they only lose Alel.
That is exactly what Team Z would have not wanted to happen. A quick and swift decimation of their A-bomb site hold on the pistol round, and Phoenix really showing the reason they picked that map on round 1.
No kidding there. All right, well, we'll take a look at what the first buy comes in here. It looks like we've got a handful of AKs coming through. Not a lot in the way of utility since it is only a first buy. UMP coming in for Arel, who does trade in for a lot of utility. And the fan out comes through.
Yeah, and it's full default pistols across the board for Team Z. They really can't afford anything into this round. Again, a heavy A stack, fairly standard for the early rounds on Train, and they're going to go very aggressive here, trying to get those pistols up close and personal. We will see the Zeus coming out. Could we see the counter Zeus here?
Xiao Wu wants to give back what was taken before. Oh boy, just watching drop down.
It is a fairly viable position for the Zeus as well, up close in that drop position. If you hit it right, you could probably get a frag there, recover a rifle, as the execute is going to be towards A again. Aurel flashing herself down, and the Zeus is here. The Zeus doesn't hit, though. She misses it, and Aurel...
The backfire, it's huge right now, and Phoenix just stormed the A point. They lose Alel, they get a tag on a Decorgaz, but that is about it. This should be an easy plant situation for Phoenix.
And Shiloh 1 versus 4, just going to look to convert, but Kohibi is having none of it, rips the head off, and the aim is really looking good for Phoenix. They're hitting some crisp shots to open things up.
Oh man, it was You know what? I will admire the confidence from Xiaowu to try and take that on the Zeus, but you know what? That works once in a blue moon, and unfortunately, Phoenix already took that one. So 2 rounds going their way here, and we will see the buy situation finally coming in for Team Z. We've got a couple of AUGs as well as some N4s.
Yeah, and this map normally is fairly T-sided, CT-sided, excuse me, but in this particular region and these matchups, we have seen it go the distance for T teams who've really been stringing some rounds together, so I'm really intrigued to see a team like Phoenix who did pick this map, how many rounds they can get going on their T-side. We saw 7 or 8 in the previous matchups yesterday, so could be a really tight game as Orel just holding for drop early on. They are holding very passively, Team Phoenix, expecting some aggression from the Chinese roster, which is understandable. Rosters like this do love to get aggressive, and we'll see Xiwu nice and up close to drop, holding the A main push. There's plenty of real estate to be found here for Team Z.
But Phoenix are playing very patiently. You can see all 3, or a good chunk of these players just sitting back by the bomb over at Dumpster. Meanwhile, only 2 have really taken advanced position of any kind. And it's just a patient game. They're hoping to draw Team Z out into a bad spot.
And they've got the nade lineups as well for this A hit. They've made their way down. Drop it is going to be the execute yet again. The smokes isolating those CT fights absolutely key. And Xiwu has to hit some shots here. The tags are coming through, but that's it. Orel rips the head off. There's damage to work with, but CTs, they're still not hitting their shots. Finally one, and the multi-kill almost on. Shilo able to capitalize 3 versus 3, and the tags are to work with, but Kohaibi's still doing so much here.
That's going to be nearly enough. The tags are pretty hefty, but Lillian and Temple are still alive in this one, and the bomb sitting on Decorguez as she backs away into the corner of A3. This isn't going to be easy.
They have back lane control, though, the T side, and that can be so crucial. You can see Lillian aware that spawn is open, and if she gets the timing, it's a free peek, but she doesn't get it, and it's down
Temple
to
is down to 3.
3 HP Temple to hold this one down. 1 versus 1, 20 seconds left on the clock. Her saving grace is that there's no nades available for the T side of Phoenix as she starts to push up. Temple goes for the timing, won't get the peek. It's 3-0. The clutch is in, and the rifle round goes the way of Phoenix.
Look at how close that was. Decorguez gets tapped down to 2 HP. They don't get the bomb plant, but they don't care. They still got the round. Oh, my word. Team Z fighting for their tournament lives here, and it looks like a force will come in. Lillian grabs the scout.
This is quite something from Phoenix. That first rifle round, you could not ask for better from that T side. It went down to 1, but they made it happen, and now they're down on the pistols. The scout for Lillian, the only real upgrade across that CT side. Got to try and get something done here, as again, we're going to see early presence in towards A. They're actually going to take Hall's control this time. The T side dropped down the drop immediately, and that is far too fast again. Phoenix looking to up the pace even further.
Dear, reaction has to come out here for Team Z. Shiloh getting lit. Shiloh taken down. Decorguez will eliminate it in turn, but Mish turns it back onto Jenny, and all of a sudden it's a 3v1 situation. Lillian, lone woman on the scout, and she's having to make her way back up towards B. This should be a plant down for Phoenix.
And this again was all too easy. Even with the team kill, Phoenix have 3 players alive. It's a 1 versus 3 for Lillian. Still stuck on that scout. Spots the first player out, can't hit the shot, and now she's locked into connector. The Molotov will come through. This one is all over. Lillian just try and do what she can on the exit, but
I think it's a save situation. You look at the economy right now for Z, and this is not looking great. Oh, and she can't even do it.
The tag is in, but on 9 HP, Alel will stay alive, gets the headshot. 4-0 Phoenix with a stellar start and so fast pace on train.
We saw this on Mirage as well. Phoenix getting out to a flying start. Team Z did manage to find an equalizer, but that was their map. This is for Phoenix. And we'll see the buy coming in yet again. This time the op comes up for Jenny, but they're spending just about everything they've got.
That AWP has to go absolutely huge. We saw Jenny, she had a torrid time on Mirage, really struggled to get started, but here on Train, she has to be big. The AWPs are so important in these ranged engagements on this map. As again, early presence, they're looking to go down the drop. They are not mixing up the execute at all here, Phoenix, and Jenny on the AWP, she has to try and counter as Xiwu will guy the early one.
Gets one at least. Going to be guarding drop, but look at how little health she's got to work with right now. If the spray is right, Phoenix can still mow her down and make their way into A. Meanwhile, there's a slow movement from Decorguez trying to go towards Ivy. This is the first time we've seen Phoenix really do anything but an A execute.
And it's understandable. I think if that initial frag had gone their way, they would have just fell into the default pattern. But now they're looking for the refrag. They want an opportunity to equal things up before they try and hit a site, as Shilo just falling back off the angle, not opting to peek too aggressively.
Oh, they're alternating peaks here.
This timing is so key.
That's going to be it. The tag onto Shilo. Not enough to get the elimination, but the information's there now for Phoenix, and it looks like the go button is hit, and Xiaowu cannot hold on to that one with a little bit of health that she had left. small tags onto Kohibi, but that's not nearly enough to get it done. And with the Molotov down, this is the execution into onto A. They move into Olaf with the bomb.
There's damage to work with for the CT side, though, and Aurel playing around the edge of the smoke. Kohibi finds one. The trade is there, and Kohibi has to do so much. Gets the double kill. All still alive.
Lillian's the last one standing. Alel and Decorguez will be too much to handle, and a 5th round goes to Phoenix.
And Phoenix, they are looking so crisp. The aim is absolutely insane. Alel even managing to save the AWP. I mean, you looked at that situation, and there were tags onto 3 players, but nothing coming through. Headshots across the board as the Force Spy brings out the Swag 7 for Lillian.
Oh, dear. This is starting to smell like desperation right now, Wolfie. Team Z need to get around and need to turn that momentum around. And critically, we haven't seen them take the tack pause.
Exactly, and we've seen it so effectively used across these series, and I don't know why Team Z aren't looking to use it to stop the momentum that we've seen. As again, it's going to be fast out of Olaf very early on, the aggression coming through from the T side, and you can see Kohibi on that Mac 10. She just wants money. She wants money so desperately. Decorguez gets one with the AK. There is actually a trade available, but it is just onto that Mac 10, so the rifles are still up as Lillian on that Swag 7 manages to recover herself, and AWP gets the second before the trade, and she's bought a little bit of time. 3 versus 2.
That's a chance right now, but one of the pistols does get eliminated. Shiloh is going to have to come up huge here as Temple really doesn't have a lot of health to work with as she wraps around the back there. Mish is nearly taken down, but not before she turns the execute with the bomb plant. Temple needs to do the impossible to clutch it and retake it. You need to not even take a single tick here, and there's the fire, the peak, and Phoenix take a 6th.
And 6-0 on Train. This T side is looking utterly dominant for Phoenix. I thought for a minute that with the Swag 7 kill, the AWP flick was insane from Lillian, but not quite enough. Her teammates not quite able to capitalize on the situation, and they will get the buy.
Whoa, Team Z. They're laying it all down in the line. We've not seen them leave hardly any money in the bank throughout the course of this. The full buy comes through. Utility on everybody but Xiaowu and Jenny.
I mean, why not? Nothing else has worked on your CT side, right? Let's bring out the double AWPs. Let's see what we can get done this time, as it looks like there's going to be a little bit of aggression in towards the B bomb site. Lillian and Temple
cut the legs off.
Going to try and push very aggressively in, but Brownhall's control is being established. Mitch getting very aggressive on the angle, and who gets the advantage of the peak? A missed shot from Temple. She tries to swing.
Looking for a Temple. That's exactly what the CTs needed, and they'll make Phoenix think twice about pushing into B.
Could we see a repeat of Mirage here? 6-0 currently as Alel misses the shot, down to 15 on that AWP. Needs to be very cautious, and she can't find it. Chiwu gets the frag. The trade is there from Alel, but 4 versus 2 now, and on 15 HP, the AWP has got to go absolutely huge.
Yeah, Alel's just sitting up in Olaf right now. This will not be easy taken down. Decorguez is going to be the last one standing now for Phoenix, turning it onto Shiloh. Team Z finally get on the board.
First round on the board for Team Z, and could they try and get something happening here? They have that first round, and we've seen what they can do on the comebacks, but the economy is so well built up for the T side. They have invested pretty heavily into the previous, as the double AWP setup still saved on that CT side. 5 AKs in utility for Phoenix, however, and they've looked so good with this so far.
Team Z, though, are laying it all out in the line, just making sure they need to start steamrolling through these rounds and not giving Phoenix anything, burning away their economy. You mentioned how solid it still is, even after 1 round loss, and here comes the execute in onto Phoenix. It looks like they'll send 3 down towards Brown Halls.
And again, they're looking for that B presence. We saw the aggression. They're going to go straight down the drop, and there's nobody home for Team Z, and that's a nice chunk of the map for Phoenix to find very early on in things. Lillian wants to get aggressive towards B with that AUG, but of course, without the AWP, it is a very big risk, and she's going to be dropping back down. Jenny, on that primary AWP, has been so good for Team Z so far. Struggled a little on Mirage, has started to come into her own here on Train, needs to find the shot.
Temple's pushed very far up at Ivy right now, and she's got to be careful she doesn't run into the crosshairs of Kohibi.
Kohibi, this is a timing and a half. She's watching it for the time being, but she swings. Oh, the timing, she hears it. She heard Temple.
That's going to be it. Oh, the execution! It's better on the side of Temple, but there is an equalizer. However, that's a great trade in favor of Team Z right now, as they've eliminated 2 of Phoenix's members, and the reset's going to come in here. Phoenix is pretty split.
That's the second time Temple has gone absolutely huge for her team, and you can see Chiwu on the AWP has opted to get aggressive, misses the shot, has to fall back now, can't take the secondary, and the bomb is in the grasp of Aurel, so 4 versus 3, there is still opportunity, but Phoenix don't have a lot of map to work with here.
They do not. It looked like it was going to be a great start as they managed to push into drop down incredibly quick, but losing 2 members like that has had them second guessing. 33 seconds. They've already lost 1 round. If they lose this one and lose a lot more players, their economy starts to look a little wobbly.
And it looks like it is going to be the execute towards B. The queue up is here. There's a rotation from Shiloh. It's Lillian and Shiloh on this side. The spray through the smoke is so good. She'll get the initial frag, and now a 2-on-2 for the remaining T players to try and make their way to the site. Nothing doing. It is all down to Decorguez. 1 versus 4. She's stuck on the B lower area. 10 seconds left. This is done.
They've got no bomb in hand either, and I think Decorguez just opted to go for the save situation right now. And man, that was really impressive. Lillian spraying down on that AUG without the scope up. New accuracy be damned.
And that is exactly what Team Z needed. They have been so good at coming back on their CT side so far, and they're looking like it again.
Match is paused, and you got to wonder, this is probably going to be a Phoenix one. What's going on? We just lost 2 rounds in a row. That's not supposed to happen.
And you
Was
look
that
at
triple up? What's going on?
They must
Wait
have
a minute.
saved it.
I thought for 1 second maybe Team Z took the pause to be like, wait.
No,
I mean, the more it's every op they buy, they grow in power.
Exactly, and they are looking good so far. They lost those initial 6 rounds, and we were so concerned it was going to be a stomp out, but Team Z really starting to recover, and we're going to see there's not a lot of cash at all for Phoenix. They're looking for a recovery, but this round they're just going to have that AK on Decorguez to try and work some magic. The hero AK going to have to do so much, and Team Z, once they had those rifles and the double AWP setup, they've looked better and better.
That they have. It has been a delayed start always for Team Z. It's the second time we've seen this. Mirage was exactly the same way, but they're hoping they can do a little bit better than that last time. Really heavy investment. Temple just burning through every bit of cash she has, but she has been the hero for the squad.
Yeah, provided some seriously exciting plays, getting very aggressive when needed and giving her team an opportunity, as this time there is nothing left on the buy. Decorguez with the AK has armor behind it, of course, saved from the previous round, but it's pistols for her teammates. And she has to be the hero here. That AK-47 has to do so much work as the early peaks start to come through. Phoenix, they look like they want to head towards A here.
If they can flush it out really quickly, it looks like that's going to be that flash up early on, and they're going through. Jenny not able to get that shot on the scope of the AWP, and they've breached into the A side here, trying to just swarm it here as Jenny. ZOWIE getting tagged up, taken down at ZOWIE, but
Jenny.
they pay for it dearly. Phoenix, the shots just keep on coming. It's trades back and forth, 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, I should say. Lillian and
One versus
Aurel.
one. Aurel!
That's it, Z will take the round. That was a lot closer than it should have been.
Aurel even managed to recover an AWP. I thought for a split second there she'd hit that shot and secure the round, but Phoenix, even with the pistols, take it down to the last man, and it was so close. 6-3 the scoreline. This is quite something.
Oh, yes, indeed. Team Z starting to stack it up. They'll have a bit of a buy to work with, not as full as they would have liked. But they do have rifles on just about everybody. Yep, Jenny back on that AWP. We'll take a look at the execution play here for Phoenix. What will they do? It looks like it's another spread out.
Fairly standard play. They have actually kept 2 towards this B-bomb site.
They like to get this double drop down early.
Yeah.
And it's
got
always Aurel and Mish.
It's a really nice early play. It takes that control away from the CT side, chucks a good chunk of the map away, and really makes it a little bit awkward. You can see Team Z, they have left that area of the map completely open. They have the AWPer on Jenny peeking towards it, but that means you've got nobody holding main with the AWP. You have Shiwu in towards Ivy, but that's not quite as effective at all. And finally, the re-peek will come in towards main. And Phoenix playing this one very slowly. The utility coming out towards A yet again. Really haven't seen them test that B-bomb site too much at all, and they're waiting
there hasn't
for
been
this
much
push.
Ivy either. We'll see one movement by Decorguez to try to get the flank round, only on the Gleal. Let's see if she can actually get it done. Sights on, the spray not quite as accurate, but finally she does it on the second wind and gets a second. It's ZOWIE going down. Jenny will fall soon. The swarm is on here, and Phoenix will go flawless as they look to take down Lillian.
7 HP on the last player, and that was a perfect explosion from Phoenix. They just caught the CT side. The flank from Decorguez, absolutely instrumental. A double kill as well. Such a nice flick for the second frag with the Galil, as Phoenix are going to get their 7th, and they are 1 round away from having the lead on the T side at the half.
And Team Z have been burning through cash right now. Only Lillian really has a lot to work with. 6,700 in the bank and managed to save the AUG, assuming she doesn't get hunted at the end of this round. This is starting to look a little rough for the Chinese side.
Yeah, I think her saving grace here is there's not enough cash at all for Phoenix either, so they don't want to lose any rifles. You can see the M4 picked up by Decorguez in favor of that Galil, so they're going to keep all 5 rifles up, and that is a intelligent decision. They know the buy's not going to be great, even if they allow the AUG to stay up, and building that T-side economy gives you so many opportunities on train.
Match pause come in. Honestly, this one could be either team, but I think it's going to go in the favor of Team Z. The buy comes in, and AWP does get picked up and tossed over. But this is do or die.
This is do or die time for Team Z. They have to win some rounds here. They have to start building themselves up a CT side on train, because I can't see Phoenix on their map pick not making it happen.
No, I agree with you. This is going to be rough. They need to go into the half with at least a decent bank of wins built up. If they can get 2 or 3 more, that's not a bad start to it, but they have to start roaring back as it turns around. The timeout, of course, being Team Z's, and you can see the players extremely focused. Not a lot of discussion happening. It's all about getting their heads into this game.
Yeah, and they know they have to start biting back here. They don't have a lot of cash in the bank at all. They've chosen to invest fully into this round. They have been able to get the AWP, 3 AUGs out, the FAMAS onto Shiloh, but it's a strong buy for the T side as well. And despite getting a few rounds on the board, Team Z not looking too great here on train. They are looking very wobbly, as it looks like they want to get a little bit aggressive towards Ivy here.
Yeah, the double drop down will still come into play, although there's a bit of a hesitation on that one, as we might see that wrap run on Ivy. It certainly worked out well last time. Lillian immediately taken down by Arel. That's what you get for hanging out all the way at the edge of upper B.
And that is a really awkward situation for Team Z. You can see instantaneously Jenny has to rotate around onto the other side. They've actually opted to give Timple the AWP this time rather than Jenny, and she has been standing out so far for Team Z. So an intelligent decision, but it leaves this A-bomb site very, very vulnerable. That rotation towards B, there's only 3 CT players present to try and stop this push if it is where Phoenix look to hit. And as this utility comes out, it's going to become very, very difficult.
Well, Phoenix have to know that that's probably going to be the less guarded one. Both these teams have pretty much executed almost exactly the same each round in a row, and that's going to be that rotation in towards B. The peek out here for Arel, a little bit dangerous as she's low. Right into the side she'll walk of Jenny. That's going to be that first elimination, but the game might be up here. Turn it around. And that's going to be Phoenix looking to flush onto the B side, getting the plant down.
Timple very swift on the rotation. Should be able to get at least one here. Spots out Mitch. Doesn't quite hit the shot. Trying to hold oil, but you can see the timing so good on the peak. The no-scope tags, but not quite enough. Mitch on 7 HP, staying alive and buying time for the T side. Shiloh, how does she not get that? The nade trades it out, but it's 3 versus 2. And this is looking impossible. The AUG has to do so much work here. Timple on 16 HP with that AWP, and
Phoenix
as the push starts to come in.
Decorguez, that's it. Phoenix, a big cheer goes up for them as they take a round 8.
Decorguez solo holds the bomb site in some style as well. What a play from her.
She's really been stepping it up the last couple of rounds too, especially that Galil play, wrapping around Ivy and getting a 2K. Phoenix have to be feeling great. They didn't even buy on that last round because they'd managed to keep everybody alive and pick up an M4. Now they're going to be flush with cash.
And they've done so well as well. And look at the economy. They've got P250s as an AUG for UMP for Jenny, excuse me.
I got there in the end, but yeah, this is rough for the Chinese team.
This is nothing.
You mentioned they invested so heavily in that last round, and they got completely eliminated. That AWP, it looked like it was a good chance for Timple. She even managed a no-scope tag, but not enough to get the kill. And Phoenix, there's no need to change the strategy up. The fan-out they use, it keeps working. Looking for that drop-down, looking to guard at Brown Halls. If anyone wants to peek out on B upper, you're going to get a face full of bullets.
Yeah, and I think that just comes down to Phoenix hitting their shots so consistently at this point. They haven't missed in a long while. And down on the pistols, Team Z, they really need something special to bring them back up. Again, seeing that Ivy aggression coming through from Shiloh as the push is actually countered. Decorguez is taking some tags here, but finds the frag.
She does turn it around. You'd think sometimes the play is to rush a little aggressively when you're forced onto pistols, but they still fan out. It's easy pickings if you're Team Phoenix, and now they have the number advantage, and it keeps on growing. Taking down Jenny is, of course, going to be Mish Kohaibi. Grab Xiaowu. Mish cleans up Timple. There's one trade back for Lillian, but on that UMP, how much can she get done? And the answer is not much more.
And just the one frag again from the force buy. You can see Team Z, they're not putting the economic pressure on Phoenix whatsoever. They've got so much money now. They saved themselves 4 AK-47s, and this buy is going to be very, very slim for Team Z.
If you're Team Z, the half can't come soon enough at this point. Down 3-9. You need to pick up a couple more rounds to have any chance at being confident in this halftime going over to the T side. That buy is not looking all so great. M4s across the board. A deagle for Timple. That's about all you got.
Nothing to really work with. AK's saved almost entirely from Phoenix from the previous round. Just the one being dropped, and this is going to be a very rough hold indeed for the CT side of Team Z.
It's out early here. They just try to hold on to the bomb train. It's fairly aggressive, but Team Z have stretched themselves a little thin. It seems like they're lacking answers to this play from Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix have just gone route 1 about 8 times out of 9 rounds they've had, and there hasn't been too much of a consequence for it. Team Z, we haven't seen any aggressions. We've seen them push Ivy, but it's been shut down every time. They haven't looked to get into main with utility. They haven't looked to flush Phoenix out with Molotovs. They've just let them execute into the site at their leisure, and it's not been working out at all. As again, we're seeing the exact same thing.
Yeah, and they're second-guessing their strat as well. Look at this, going to commit 2 towards Ivy right now, thinking that maybe there's going to be another wraparound, but that's not what's happening for Phoenix this time around. They will send Alel back by Dumpster, but they're just waiting on the execution. Phoenix know they have time to play with.
And Mitch making a little bit of noise towards the B-bomb site, and it is going to actually be B. The fake with nades as Lillian has managed to stay hidden for a long time here. Urel still finding the frag, and Timple is left alone with a deagle.
Temple's got to do something here, but that won't be easy. The tap doesn't manage to get it finally on the 4th shot. Takes down Aurel, but this is going to be an instant trade back with the bomb down. The CCs have to respond in time, and Team Z, they're not feeling like they can do anything going up towards Ivy.
4 versus 3, there's nothing they can do.
They're
on
just
that
saving.
bomb site. They don't have the utility to get in. They don't have smokes. They have nothing to lock out Phoenix. No Molotovs to force them out of the peak, so there's nothing Team Z can do. They've just got to try and save. Phoenix are going to get double digits on the T side of Train.
And that just goes to show how powerful Phoenix have been. This is their map, and it's their map for a reason. Mirage was looking close, but this is a big swing. We're getting closer and closer to that halftime play. Only 2 more rounds will remain.
10-3 the scoreline. Team Z have looked utterly despondent here. They have not been able to get anything going. Phoenix, their T side has looked flawless. Their executes have been well planned, and they've been hitting their shots. You saw there that spray from Lillian on the B bomb site. That has to be a kill. You have to try and get something done, and it just doesn't come through.
Yeah, very few mistakes on the Phoenix side. I think the only saving grace is the fact that Temple was able to get that one deagle shot, and it took about 4 to happen. Didn't see if she had the armor. Looked like the aim punch was in effect, but Team Z need an answer on this one. You need to pick up at minimum 4 rounds. 5 would be okay. But they just don't have an answer to this execution. With a double drop down early, they're going to try and commit 2 over there, and that's going to be that first frag out. Decorguez manages to find 1. There is an answer back onto her. It's a lot of trades here.
Chiwoo staying alive on the site, doing so much work, but it's 3v3, and that bomb has already made its way all the way through.
Take
And Mitch
that
is
one.
locking it down. They tried to go through drop, and it's not enough. Alel
Deny the
with
plant.
the bomb.
You need to stay alive here if you're Xiaowu. You cannot afford to get that unlucky peek. Throw out that smoke. Look for the execution. Look for 1. That's going to be nearly enough. No, Phoenix will finish the job. It's Kohibi on the final headshot. 11-3.
The body block keeping Phoenix alive. 11-3. The dink came through. Mitch on just 8 points of health, but somehow Phoenix still do it.
That was the most expensive round Phoenix have had to face, but the problem is they've got so much money in the bank that it didn't even make an impact at all on their economy. And once again, this force comes out. Jenny will have access to the op. There's a scout on Temple. It's a UMP and a couple of M4s across the board.
And you have to wonder for Team Z, if they can't stop this push with full rifles, how are they going to do it on this kind of a force by Phoenix? Looking like they picked this map with good knowledge. They are utterly dominant, as again, we're going to see some aggression coming in from Team Z. They want to take control of Ivy, but Decorguez is watching this like a hawk as the smoke comes through. That will allow Chiwoo to cross, but I don't know how much more she can get done from that position.
Again, it's just about finding an answer for the execution that Phoenix have had time and time again. You mentioned it, 9 times out of 10, they go towards that A site. They flush it out. The double drop down comes in without any real answer here as Aurel guards the entrance to A main. And Phoenix have to be feeling so confident on their map that they can get another 2-0 against this Chinese side and earn themselves a matchup up against Orange Sphinx.
Yeah, and I mean, the problem is for Team Z is they have not countered it at all. They haven't found any aggressions anywhere. As again,
They're backing away.
Alel and Kohibi are going to start to push out in towards Olaf. They have the utility to execute this. The Molotov forces Shiloh into a little bit of an awkward position down towards the back of green. Nice shot from Jenny to open things up. And could this be what they need? Shiloh gets another before the trade, and now 4 versus 3.
That's a chance here, but they have to make moves onto A site right now. Lillian's still hanging out over by B. Xiaowu getting tagged down to 47 before taken out. Decorguez and Mish just on those AKs trying to get to a plant situation, but this is number advantages that Team Z are not used to having through the smoke, trying to get that tap on. With the AWP, Jenny needs to make this count, has to move away from the Molotov. Can't quite get that shot on the scope from the top. You can see Temple managing to do it before she gets taken out. Decorguez has that bomb, might want to move around. She can fake it out and head towards B, might be able to get a plant before Team Z know what's happening.
2 versus 1, and she has that AK pushing tight up, and you can see the flank coming through already from Jenny. Lillian doesn't want to commit at all, falling back through connector, but Decorguez has got time here, and the flank is going through the wrong way. Lillian has dropped off onto the other bomb site. This bomb's going to go down.
She's
2 versus 1. She's got the plant. She's got opportunity. She makes her way around the bomb site, and she's dodged both players here. Jenny starts to swing wide.
There's
She only
peek.
has the
She didn't
pistol.
see it, and it's finally going to be enough. They traded out. Lillian's still alive. We'll have plenty of time to defuse that bomb, and Team Z, oh, wipe the sweat off your brow. You just managed to stay alive.
An 11-4 half in favor of Phoenix, and I wouldn't be wiping any sweat off my brow if I was Team Z, because they have got one hell of a comeback to fight for here. They are going to need an insane T-side of train.
Yeah, they will. Not a comfortable side, not a comfortable map, and you have so much work to do. Could have been worse, could have been 12-3, but that is a small consolation right there, Wolfie.
Team Z, they just never looked established. They never got into the flow of that CT side. They didn't build themselves up any kind of economy. They didn't give themselves any opportunity to. It was isolated rounds around a very dominant T side from Phoenix. And I mean, what more can you do in that scenario if you are Team Z? They didn't really try the aggression, and I would have liked to see them take A main a little bit more. But besides that, it was just Phoenix executing into them and hitting their shots.
Phoenix just had a strategy, and it kept working. And at this point, you've just got to turn it around and have a strong CT side. You only need to hold so many. Let's take a look at our replays there. Jenny just not able to connect on the scope, finally gets that one. And it looked like this was a good chance here. Xiaowu mowing him down and, you know, getting a well-earned round. The trades were there. This is where Temple just started to light it up on that pistol.
Yeah, and I guess the difference here was nobody really made a mistake. They just all hit their trades, and we didn't see that so much from the rest of the round. So Team Z, they're going in 7 rounds down? Yeah, 7. I can do math. 7 rounds down
Never
on the
maths
T-side of
broadcast.
trade.
That's something I learned for a long time ago there, Wolfie. But that's okay. You got plenty of time. And unlike Team Z right now, they need to get as many back for themselves. This pistol round, oh so important, as they will be rushing. Let's see what the difference in strategy is. They keep together on a train. Will they go for the drop down, or did they end up rushing B?
Looks like they want to just take presence at the moment, not looking to get too aggressive at all, playing a contact play. There's a couple of players rotated towards the B-bomb site at the moment for Phoenix. It is a site that's retakeable, and there is a nade onto Decorgez. Has the defuse kit to work with as well towards the back of trains. And where do these Glocks want to go? The smoke's going to lock out lower, and they're going to look to explode onto the B-bomb site. The rotation will come in for the CT side, but it should be a bomb plant at the very least for Team Z as the push starts to come in through lower. The tap's not connecting for Phoenix. They are getting a little bit of damage on the cross, but nothing too significant at range, as it's a 5v5 retake. You don't see these every day.
Definitely not. It was very calm and cautious from Team Z right now, as there's just a few taps to work with on either side. Decorgez getting taken down to 11 here. She has the most advanced position, and Temple goes all the way down to 3. The non-lethal pistols finally coming through. Jenny taking down Mish. It's a trade. Phoenix, they have the edge. It looks like this retake scenario might be theirs. Lillian's going to try to come through, but before she can chuck the Molotov, it's taken down. And Decorgez, holding onto that defuse kit, manages to win the round for Phoenix.
Temple didn't think they had a defuse kit there. She was waiting to peek, and she waited too long. A 12th round for Phoenix, and the pistol round goes their way. Again, just hitting their shots. They were hitting everything. Kohabi even manages to wallbang a player as she's trying to make her way down the ramp.
And it was disaster. Team Z, it looked like they might have had a great play on that one, but all they get out of it is the 800 from the bomb plant. And they'll have to find some answers coming through here. The second round, of course, hanging on not entirely to pistols. It looks like they're going to go for a UMP and a MAC-10.
And they've got to force up something. They've got to try and find some damage in this round. The buy is in, of course, for the CT side of Phoenix, and they have FAMASs, they have M4s, and it's down to Team Z, realistically, to unlock this, as they're going to send a couple of players in towards Ivy. You can see Lillian and Temple taking a little bit of map control, getting a little bit of information. Meech is playing very passively with an MP9 in that angle, so potentially an angle that Team Z could look to exploit, as they are pretty postured towards this A bomb site.
He's going to be the one guarding over at Ivy. There's a double commit here for Team Z in the form of Lillian and Temple. But cautious play from Team Z. A lot slower to make the execution than we saw at Phoenix. Of course, Phoenix really kind of got into a groove with that A execute. What can Team Z do?
You can understand this cautiousness from Team Z as well. They're trying to wait out the initial peaks. They're trying to wait for the aggression on the SMGs from Phoenix. But of course, with so many rounds to work with, why would Phoenix get aggressive? They don't need to find anything.
Jenny has gotten tagged here. That jiggle peek keeps coming out.
Kohabi
Likes of Mish.
wants to get aggressive with the M4, popping the angle. The Molotov will force Lillian through.
Here's the push.
Oh, the
Into
timing.
Ivy. They've managed to find it. They do get lit up pretty heavily, though. Shiloh, Jenny, both getting dropped. Lillian down to H, but they managed to break through Ivy and are going to look to wrap around this side over to CT tunnel. Do they commit to A or go towards B from the backside?
They get back lane control.
Temple's down.
It could be so much here, but this is all too simple for V2. I mean, I can't even believe I'm saying that. Finally, a D comes through to equalize things, and that is the M4 down, so a little bit of potential to work with for Team Z, but they don't have map. They don't have a bomb site to plant on. You can see the aggression from Decorgez all the way in towards CT spawn. She has this angle covered, and that's an easy headshot to make it a 3 versus 1. Shiwu has recovered the MP9, but this is a very difficult situation. The spray finds nothing. 13-4 the scoreline, and we are 3 rounds away from a wipeout from Team Phoenix.
This would be the most lopsided we've seen them play, and Team Z have to be feeling flustered. No pause coming in just yet. The buy situation will come through. Has an AK at least for Jenny, and this is going to be rough. Team Z, they need to stay alive and force some more rounds out. Otherwise, Phoenix will be easily waltzing into the playoffs up against Orange Sphinx.
They have to force buy here. They have to get the AKs. They have a couple of Galils, but Lillian's forced still onto the Deagle, and you can see the buy from Phoenix. They only have 3 FAMASs, and they have full utility as well. This is looking so good for the CT side as Team Z want to take early control of A main, and they are rushing their way through in towards drop, but the M4 is here.
Perfect timing!
Kohabi, that is far too easy.
Oh, my word. And Team Z is going to think twice about trying to take that angle of attack here. And Aurel just continues to jiggle peek over there by Olaf. A main seems to be the target in mind for Team Z, but this isn't going to be an easy one to break.
That was too simple for Kohabi. Basically, Team Z were just hoping she didn't have the spawn for it, but not the case. As Timple up on the boxes, will get some damage through, but Dink's down to just 14 HP. This is getting very difficult as Mitch gets another frag Ivy, and that's the flank completely dead. The nades onto Kohabi not getting that much damage. She's on 32 as finally Jenny starts to open things up.
She gets burned down, though. That was some pretty hefty damage in the trade with Aurel. And let's see, they managed to break in here. Trying to get into Sandwich back there. That's going to be the trade on to Timple and Lillian, and now it's all down just to Jenny on 20 HP.
Has to try and find something.
She doesn't have the bomb either.
She doesn't even have the bomb. She's completely stuck on the bomb site. She will get the initial frag, but now Phoenix will start to swarm, and they have so many angles to work, and they know it. They've got the flank as well. Mitch in towards A main, and there we go. Alel secures the 14th, and Phoenix, they're 2 rounds away from 2-0ing Team Z and making their way through to the playoffs.
And Phoenix haven't suffered too much damage there. They saved 3 rifles for the time being, and that was a force situation. All of a sudden, Team Z, what are they going to do? They're going to go for a continued force.
They have to. They have to try and prevent the match point coming through, because this map basically decides the series. If Phoenix get 2 more rounds, it is all over. Team Z are going home, so they're going to be picking up the scouts, the UMPs, the Deagles, anything they can afford to try and stop this. But Phoenix, they have 5 rifles. They have full utility. Their CT siders look good, just as good as their T.
This is one of the biggest desperation plays you can see here from Team Z right now. How will they be able to execute? They're still taking a pause, taking the time. We need to see them rushing it, but they are second-guessing themselves. They haven't taken this tack pause yet. And I think they're going to pay for it pretty heftily.
They're trying to get control of that drop area where we saw Kohabi being so effective. They've dropped the deep smoke. They are going to get the drop through, but they'll hear this. Jenny and Timple make their way down, and they really have to find some shots here. Kohabi doesn't have much utility to try and flush them out, so just going to have to take the aim duel towards E-Box. Not a favorable one for the CT side. A little bit of damage done, but you can see Timple trying to jiggle it with the Deagle. Jenny does get the opener down to 10 HP. That's something to work with for the T side, and their attacks coming through, but Aurel's already traded it.
They've lost Lillian already, and it looks like they're going to lose more than that. Timple dropped down. Mish opening fire on the back, and that is going to be so rough here. It's a 1 situation no longer, and Phoenix on match point.
They are 1 round away from booking themselves a place in these playoffs, and what a performance from Phoenix so far on Train. They have looked dominant, and this is a map you've got to be fearful of if you're facing Phoenix.
Oh, yes, indeed. Team Z, they can get a slightly better buyout than last round. There's 1 Galil, but a handful of AKs as well. We'll see what Lillian's able to pick up. You need some utility. Timple is the only one who really manages to fully fill it out, and a UMP. And this is Team Z laying it all on the line. What's the strategy here?
They've got to just try something different. I'd like to see them hit the B-bomb site personally, but instead they're going to go fast out towards A. Sheila with the Galil trying to get out the Molotov.
Broken
will do
Olaf
damage
for Shiloh right now. Let's see if she's got enough here. The rest of the team coming up behind Blue. They need to get on to the point here. Lillian tagged pretty heavily, and they haven't managed to get the elimination. That's going to be 2, 3. Down to Jenny and Timple to try and save it.
They have to try and find something here. Jenny's making her way out, but that is it. This is all down to Timple,
Through
and
the
she can't
smoke,
find it.
Phoenix! They have done it! Into the playoffs they go.
And what a performance on Train from Phoenix. Such a strong map pick from them, and they are utterly dominant, booking themselves a place in the playoffs, facing Orange Sphinx.
16-4. We've seen some close rounds, but that is one of the most one-sided, and cheers coming out of Team Phoenix. They proved their dominance not once, but twice against this Chinese side, and now they'll have a chance to do it up against Orange Sphinx later today.
And you've got to feel bad for Team Z. They really didn't get into that map at all. 16-4. They've barely had a chance to show us what they can do. Phoenix just so strong. Their aim absolutely on point, converting every opportunity they got into frags, and that was just simple Counter-Strike done well.
I think that's the only way to put it there. I think over on Mirage, there was definitely hope. On their own map, there was a lot of hope for the likes of Team Z. They actually had a pretty good showing in that first half and started to turn it around, and it was just a little bit too little, a little bit too late. Team Phoenix were just a little more better prepared and edged them out. But on train, it was an absolutely different story. We have not seen a map go that way in a while.
Well, we haven't seen a map go that quietly in a while. It just looked like Phoenix really had their fundamentals on train way more sorted. They just knew what to do, and you could see they didn't have to try anything fancy. They didn't have to go for any complicated executes. They just threw the nades to A, and then either they faked it and went to B, or they executed through, and it worked 90% of the time.
Yeah, when the likes of Team Z, they were kind of their own worst enemies, just forcing over and over again. They put themselves into a bad economic spot, and they just couldn't afford a full buy most of the time. And by the time that happened, you could tell the tilt was setting in. They just weren't able to execute it all.
Yeah, just didn't have that mental fortitude, couldn't pull themselves out of the rut. It is disappointing losing your own map, and from there, it really was just a snowball, a little bit awkward for Team Z. They're going to have to go home and seriously look at what happened on train and try and find perhaps a counter to that execute from Phoenix.
Now, they've definitely learned a lot. I mean, that's the one thing you can say about that is you lose a lot more from failure than from success. They did manage to get the win out against Archangel earlier in the tournament, and that was a clean 2-0. But it is disappointing to go out at this stage. The playoffs were looming off in the distance. They had a chance to get back into it, but instead it will be their opposition, Team Phoenix from Singapore, going off against Orange Sphinx at the end of the day.
And what a performance from Team Phoenix. They've got to be feeling good, and of course they have another game today, so looking to carry that momentum forwards into the playoff spots, give themselves a real opportunity against their dominant Orange Sphinx roster. I think these two teams are going to go close.
Oh, I think so too. It's definitely two teams playing with a lot of confidence here. I'm looking forward to see the battle of the neighboring countries coming out later on today. I'm also looking forward to hearing from the likes of Team Phoenix. We'll have an interview ready in just a few minutes.
Yeah, and it'll be really interesting to see what they thought of those games. Obviously, Train was a stomp fest, but I mean, Mirage, I'd be really intrigued to hear how they approached it because it was close. It was so close so many times, and rounds went back and forth. Really, it was the difference was the pistol buys from Phoenix.
Yeah, that was kind of the funny aspect of it. I really want to know what they thought about the comeback that actually almost happened there from the likes of Team Z, especially in the first half, because they kept that a lot closer than they had in any of the rounds they've played so far up against this side.
Yeah, they looked really good. I mean, after that initial 6-1, you just thought it was going to be over, but Team Z, they bit back hard on the T side and gave themselves a bit of hope. Unfortunately, couldn't quite convert it through, and I think that does just show perhaps the inexperience of the roster, just not quite able to push it through and keep pushing yourselves to go better and better on yourselves.
Well, the proof is in the pudding on train because that's what we saw over and over on the T execute. It was almost the same play. There were a handful of times where we saw Phoenix go towards B. It depended on the situation, how it unfolded, but they were able to constantly push down, getting that double drop down, eventually swarm into A. All they needed was a couple of entry frags, and it just seemed like it was wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, there was just no counter for it from Team Z, and that allowed Phoenix just to keep doing the same thing. There really was no need for Phoenix to go to plan B, and you saw that, just the constant executes. And Team Z, you needed to see them get aggressive, you needed to see them be proactive and try and find a re-peak somewhere, try and find an opening pick even, but there was nothing for them to get.
No, and I think the confidence was pretty shot by the time that half had ended. They managed to get at least one round back, making it a 4 to 12 round, or excuse me, 4 to 11 round, and it really could have been a lot worse in that situation because it seemed like they were only picking up a handful of scraps as it went on. But at that point, it just feels like you don't have a lot left in the tank, and they never recovered from the half.
Yeah, and it was really unfortunate. I think Train was just not a good map for them to end up on. I think potentially that one should have been in the early bans, but
I would have been looking at Inferno had it gone all the way.
yeah, and that would have been potential. I think Team Z have a good Inferno. They could have really pushed the distance, and they did push the distance on Mirage, so a very good team either way, and commiserations to them, and of course, congratulations to Team Phoenix. What a performance.
Absolutely. It's been a pretty fast day when you factor that last one in. It looks like we're heading over to an interview with Team Phoenix.
这边也是请了 L 来做一个采访。那首先想要问的也是，他们昨天其实已经碰过 Team Z 一次。那今天他们在赛前的时候是有做哪些准备 ？So congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And first question, yesterday you guys already played Team Z before. What did you guys do since yesterday? You know, like were you guys coming into this match really confident? Like what was like some of the discussions that we want to know about?
We definitely come in with a lot of confidence, and we know that they are definitely a competitive team and they are very good. So we have to somehow keep our mentality and remain focused. Yeah.
他刚刚也是说到，就是知道对方侵略性很强，而且打得也很好，所以他们要保持自己的自信，然后把自己的战术执行好。Alright, so for the second question, actually just want to add a little bit to the first question. So you guys played them on Inferno yesterday, and in the beginning it seemed like they were really aggressive on a roll. So you guys knew that aggression is some of their strengths. What were some of the things that you guys were planning on doing today to stop them from this kind of aggression?
Definitely on that map we were lacking of teamwork, and after like we reviewed back our gameplay and fix our mistakes from there. So the aggression, how to counter the aggression from them. So today's gameplay, we try to work better as a team and like learn from what mistakes that we did yesterday. Yeah.
昨天打比赛的时候，也是发现对方侵略性非常强，所以他们昨天回去看了一下录像，然后研究一下要怎么去应对。然后昨天也是感觉打得比较个人，所以今天他们打得更加团队一点，然后就是彼此配合得更好，交流也更好，所以也是打得比较顺。那接下来就要问关于火车这张图，火车他们打的时候就发现每个人发挥都非常非常好，他们这张图看得出来练了非常久，那也是很好奇他们打火车的时候是否有一些小套路、一些小配合可以跟我们分享一下。For the second question regarding Train, you guys look so confident going into it, and everybody stepped up. So Train is a map that you guys are really comfortable on. Can you maybe share with us, like, what are some of the things that, without revealing too much, of course, some of the things that you guys really like to do, and like, why the reason behind the Train pick?
As mentioned, Train is really our comfortable map. So basically, we just do what we do best, which is just holding how we always play. So the main thing is that our teamwork and our communication is the thing that make us synchronize and getting sides together. Yeah.
所以打到火车这张图，他们觉得最重要就是他们的交流，还有他们的同步性。比如说像要进攻一个包点的时候，就是彼此之间的一个配合。那最后也是很好奇，他们下一场比赛是要面对 Orange Sphinx 战队。那他对这场比赛有什么看法 ？So for the last question, next match you'll be playing against Orange Sphinx. How are you guys feeling about it?
We're not sure, but whatever happens, we just gonna keep our confidence there, never give up, and just do our best. Yeah.
那刚刚也是说，他其实面对橘子战队也不知道要说些什么，主要是就是他们要保持自己的自信，然后把自己的东西打好也就可以了。那我们采访到这里结束了，我们稍微休息一下，等待下一场精彩的比赛。